Hello everyone, welcome to another meme stock meltdown video. How you doing? We're going to be catching up with all sorts of peeps. We have, of course, the PP show, Marantz, and some other stuff going on. I'm curious, take your bets now if Marantz will show up in chat asking to talk to me to defend his honor or whatever he thinks he's doing. So, let's see, housekeeping. Yesterday I did a whole thing, and this is embarrassing, but I am really not doing okay financially and struggling, so I have changed the costume day to a costume month. It takes longer to get, but once it gets there, it'll be 30 straight days of costumes as voted on by the Discord. So if you want to help me out, use the tip command and throw a tip my way to get to the $1,000 goal. It would much be appreciated, because boy, things are fucked. Things are fucked. Anyway. So, let's get into it, shall we? Stop the music real quick. If you are on YouTube, do me a favor and like the stream. Other than that, let's go. We'll start with some random small clips. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't kept up on this recently. I know that after GameStop's earnings came out, the price has been steadily declining. It briefly dipped under, I think, $10, or at least got close to it, which is nice. But, Marantz has taken it like an absolute champ, so let's see how he's been doing.
I think about all the people I've talked to over the last 3 years, and I told about GameStop. And the people that are losing, the people that are hurt, the people that are missing out, the people that are like, oh my God, I'm down 80%, I'm down 40%, I'm down, like in my case, I am down officially, I want to say 57%? 57% on my position.
Wow. I wonder if that's an honest amount. I'm trying to think, if he tried to lower his average, as the meme stock people like to do as it continued to go down, how in the hole? Oh no, that's not good.
I gotta make sure I can win it. So
well,
there's nothing.
I actually wrote down after the interview, like word for word, everything that was said, so that I'd have it as a record. And I have all our communications afterwards, because he kept dismissing a lot of the topics. And I even asked him more questions, but
he dismissed you and you hired a lawyer.
Yeah. So,
right?
so it was, say what?
He dismissed you until you had a lawyer.
He was, yeah.
Well, actually,
For those who don't know, Pulte gave Michael $10,000 to get a lawyer, but I don't think he did. I don't think he has, because no lawyer wants to take the nonsense case that doesn't mean anything. Michael's unfortunate. Michael's into, like, crazy conspiracy theories now. I mean, he probably was before, but he's really into it. Actually, what the heck? He has his own YouTube channel. Let me see if I have it saved, because I definitely want to look at that today, if I do have it somewhere. Because he's got interesting beliefs. He did a whole thing about how he thinks that everything's connected, and it's very QAnon-y. By the way, oh, Starry Night, thanks for a 65 stream streak, hell yeah. 2 people sent me things from my wish list. Let's see, not that. That. Where was the actual thing? I was sent, this is great, this is a on cloth printed map of conspiracy theories, which is incredible. So it's like a bunch of ridiculous conspiracy theories all placed on a chart. So I'm gonna get this framed at some point. Very nice, thank you. And then, where'd I stick the notes? I'm terrible at this. There was a book that is A History of Magic, Witchcraft, and the Occult, which is very cool. So thank you for that. It's all, like, full color. It's fucking gorgeous. Well, that's nice. Back to it. I see why I stay in the box in the corner. I am not a full HD gal. It's the digital equivalent of a two-bagger. Alright,
After 3 years of talking about GameStop every day of my life, what the fuck did you think I was going to put on the screen? I've got one stock that's a must buy. One. And I defend it till the day I drop.
and you're down 57%. Again, does he understand that you don't need to have, like, some sort of dedication to a stock? Like, you can just be like, man, that was a shit investment, and move on with your life. That's a healthy thing to do.
Over here talking this bullshit. Like, you don't know who the hell I am.
So that's great. Oh, the Trump people are into the meme stuff. I mean, for those who don't know, Trump Truth Social is a publicly traded company. DJT, Donald J. Trump Media, I think is what it is, something along those lines. And the price on that has been going down. So the people who are into that are also trying to claim that it's naked short selling. They've basically, the Trump people have grabbed on to the meme stock conspiracy and they're running with it to try and explain why the stock isn't doing well.
I spent my career in Washington doing some of the most complicated investigations that there's ever been in Washington, some of the biggest scandals that there were. And so if people are screwing with this stock, we're not playing games with them. We're going to find out because, you know, we know that with our...
It can't be that I just made a bad decision and became the CEO of a dog shit Twitter clone. It must be the naked short sellers.
Our retail shareholder base. We're not stupid here. We know that all the big banks in this country...
Yeah, if they don't get out now, they're going to get fucked. As soon as, like, Trump is capable of selling his shares, he's going to, because he needs the money badly. Oogie, thanks for $35.69 towards the costume month, says, I'm a tippy kind of baby boo now. Yeah, disposable income. Well, thank you for gifting me some, because holy shit, stuff's rough.
Are not going to recommend our stock. They're not going to put it into their fund. So we're relying on retail investors to invest in the stock. That's okay. That's not a problem. But if the big banks and the trading companies don't actually have the shares to short, that's a big problem.
Do you have any reason to believe they don't?
So if they think they're going to screw with us and they think we're not going to figure it out, I got news for them. We're going to come after them. And
okay, do it if you have actual evidence of illegality, but let me guess, like the election interference stuff, you got nothing. You got nothing.
Amen.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so you guys see this. This is what they call...
It's a little quiet.
All right, so you guys see this. This is what they call a bullish pennant right here. This is bullish pennant. It consolidates and then it breaks out. When it breaks out, the initial flagpole is the same size as the next flagpole, okay, as it breaks out of that pennant. I just want to make that very clear. This is what you see, okay? And now this is GameStop on a logarithmic chart.
That line goes boop, 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 boo! And this line goes boop, 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 boo. So maybe it'll go boo! This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing now. We're literally doing, this line looks like this. So maybe our line that kind of looks like the earlier part will also have the end part. Are the exact circumstances the same, Marantz? Are the dynamics at play the same? Or do you just think the lines look squiggly in a similar way? Also, the other line was mostly trading sideways. GameStop is down, not sideways. So, take that to the bank.
Whenever you see log, that's where you want to be. It's not linear charts. Linear charts are for shorter time frames. This is a 3-year chart. And when you look at the 3-year chart, you see the breakout of the
complete
flagpole.
downward spiral of GameStop.
Then you see the level of support. Support's here. Resistance here. When they meet at this crescendo moment, could be 20...
Marantz, resistance is futile. Under $10 is not a meme. We're almost there. Hold on, what's GameStop stock at today? It's weekend, so there's not trading going on, but... $11.90? No! Hopefully Monday it'll go back down. Look at that. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Fenekagami with 50 bits says, do you think Trump will try to short his own stock in a desperate bid for money? That would be funny. Are you allowed to do that? I don't know, rules.
Also, man, over the fucking weekend, you know what? The weirdest fucking thing was, you know, I yesterday actually, I said if 10 goddamn shills out there can provide evidence that they shorted this fucking thing to zero and profited off of it.
Reminder that people who have shorted it, like Phil, who was involved in this community, at least enough to be like, hey, I did short this. They called him Phil the Short. He did show his page and how he had successfully shorted to zero and it was closed out and he had taken his profit. And they just accused him of lying and photoshopping it, which he did not. There was no evidence he had photoshopped anything. He successfully shorted it to zero. And they just didn't believe him. So like a lot of conspiracies, they'll gesture in the direction of like, oh, just prove me wrong, all I want is evidence. But in reality, he does not. He does not want evidence. Any evidence that comes and shows that he's wrong, they're going to explain away by saying it's Photoshop or whatever.
PP will delete his Twitter and his YouTube, man. I left the ball in the court for the shills. And the best we got was 2-3 goddamn people at best.
Isn't 2 or 3 people, like, a lot? Like, I mean, you're not that, like, well-known, PP. I know you have people on your streams, but they're people obsessed with the stock. Do you think there are that many people who shorted that company even know you exist? Of course he does. That's part of the conspiracy, is that it's an actual, like, war they're having. So of course he thinks there's a bunch of short sellers that care very deeply about him. He thinks it has to be proportional. He thinks that because he imagines a bunch of short sellers that he hates, and he hates them, he thinks that the short sellers of the company that went kaput must know about him and hate him in the same way. It's not equal like that. It's not a mirror. You're just mad. They don't know you exist. I don't even know how many retail people short stocks in the first place. Not a ton if they're smart.
That's it, fellas. Not even a whole goddamn 10 people out of the tens of thousands of fucking people out there who have said this is a sure thing, it's going to zero, things like that. All right, shut PP up then, man.
Holy shit. Rick M, thanks for a $50 tip towards the goal. Says, do not put this in a fish pocket or flesh. Thank you very much. I'll even give you a free one. Flesh pocket, flesh pocket, flesh pocket.
Go ahead. You didn't fucking see it, man.
How many of them has he blocked? That's true. He's blocked a lot of people, myself included. Sad face.
And so that leads me to believe that a lot of these people just...
Thank you, Phoenix Leftist. I appreciate that. Speaking of Patreon, we are doing a Patreon-only live show after this stream. So if you want to be a part of that, join the Patreon.
Kind of typing up bullshit, things like that. One thing that I'm very suspicious of as well is that we always really do try to get shills on the show, you know, to...
Do you? Do you, though? I got banned. NB Vulpin, or Vulpine, thanks for hanging out. How you doing?
Try to go back and forth and have some discussions, see things. But the weirdest thing is that a lot of these shills out there never come on the show. You only have seen maybe less than even five or six shills on the show, right?
It's almost like your show isn't that important and no one knows about it except for people obsessed with the stock and weirdos like me who are obsessed with people with obsession. It's like if you watched Moby Dick or read Moby Dick and then took a step back and there was a weirdo on the internet yelling at Ahab, "What are you doing? It's not worth it!" That's me.
The links are always provided throughout the show. So I'm starting to
Call me ish female.
believe that some of these people on Twitter are in fact not real
Literature jokes.
people. I mean, the likelihood is that with the development of AI, things like that, a lot of these people are not real. They may type and look like a fucking person, but to be honest with you, I think a lot of them are bots. So with that being said, man, if you ask me, I think we fucking won, fellas. But let's get in the legality. We'll start the show, man. But unfortunately, the shills were not able to shut down the PP show, man. So right on. So keep in mind, man, I am not a financial expert, nor am I a financial advisor. So please seek the avenues to do so. You're not going to find it.
I did kind of like that effect where he was like cut out. I don't know who did that, but I enjoyed that. I don't know if that's like a specific app that does that, but pretty good. Enjoyable.
Controllers are expensive, and not only are they
Oh, the GameStop stuff. The GameStop people's latest obsession is candy. Are they called Candy Con controllers or Candy Corn controller? Not sure. Either way, they're basically just third-party controllers that suck. Like, they're fine. It's the meme of when you were a kid and it's like, oh, you're player 2 at someone else's house, so you get the third-party controller, you know? GameStop has these third-party controllers, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they've decided that those controllers are going to save GameStop, even though they don't manufacture them. It's a third-party company, but they think that GameStop is going to absolutely just break out like crazy because of these third-party controllers that you can only use, I think, on PC.
Controllers are expensive, and not only are they expensive, but they're not cheap to fix. GameStop has created their own brand, something that normies beg them to do.
Did normies... Whenever they say stuff like that, I get confused about what their perception of the normal public's idea of what GameStop is. Does he think that the general public, or gaming general public, is asking GameStop for anything? I just don't think they give a shit. I don't think people have ever been like, please, GameStop, make a branded controller. And again, GameStop is not manufacturing these. They are a third party that you can get elsewhere, I believe. I think you can go to, like, that company's website and buy the controllers. GameStop just carries them because they're a store and not a manufacturer.
GameStop has to expand. If they don't expand, they're fucking ruined.
Correct. Yes, they need to find some sort of business model that works because their current one doesn't, and what you're describing is just the same business model, basically, but you think controllers will save them. Oh, good. That's good. That's a good fake laugh.
And then GameStop expands and they say, no, not like that.
But that's not GameStop expanding. That's them buying another that's buying someone else's controllers? Is that expanding?
Shut the fuck up! GameStop is creating a brand of products
Now this is good TA.
that are easily accessible
Shut the fuck up!
and easily affordable
If I was Roaring Kitty, I'd be embarrassed that I was affiliated with these people, even tangentially.
to the average consumer. The average consumer is who shops at GameStop. GameStop is now creating a controller for $35 with micro little additions to customize it.
To be clear, the controller is $35, but it doesn't come with, like, the faceplate and stuff, because the whole point of these third-party controllers is you buy the base model, and then you buy, like, the faceplate, so you can have it be whatever color you want, and you can get different sticks. So to actually have, like, a functional controller, it's more than $35, is my understanding. Could be wrong. But the base thing is $35, and then, like, the stuff to make it, like, the sticks and the faceplate are extra. So it comes closer
Basically,
to 50 or so.
allowing you to build a controller.
And to be clear, I don't have anything against third-party controllers. Like, that's fine. I've bought them. But you can get them anywhere that sells video game stuff or on the internet, and it has nothing to do with the success of GameStop. No one is going to GameStop specifically because they're like, I want to get this specific third-party controller. That doesn't even make sense.
Controller for under $60 US. Go and buy a fucking controller for Microsoft or Xbox or Sony or what fucking ever. Go buy a fucking controller from them and let me know
Okay, I have many controllers.
how fucking much you pay for it.
A lot, but it's probably better quality, and mine is iridescent and beautiful. Someone sent it to me, like, a year and a half ago. Someone got me for my Xbox, like, an iridescent purple one. It's beautiful. And guess what? I can enjoy that controller without worrying if it's going to increase my random investment that I got scammed into buying into. Fenekagami says, you heard it, everybody. According to PP, a definite smart person says we're all bots. The robot uprising is here. Hannah, you fleshies better watch out. You assume I am flesh. You assume that I have adopted the weakness of the flesh and beyond this superficial skin I am not more? How dare you?
Ryan Cohen would not be caught dead taking a fucking picture with Pulte.
Yeah.
If we were led to the fucking slaughter, this guy would say, fuck that.
My views of the business clearly changed, and I was highly critical of the strategy. It's rare to see a company.
Wow, the music in this is not helping. That's poorly managed. The music's too loud.
Go from aggressively repurchasing shares to losing a lot of money. And
This is true, though. This is an interview where Ryan Cohen explained why he left Bed Bath & Beyond. He objectively left. He said it out loud, and PP just ignores this.
so, you know, when I saw that and I saw the results, you know, my views changed of the business, and ultimately
What you love is when third-party companies come up with exciting new peripherals, which no one remembers within a year. Yeah.
I sold.
Like that helmet that you could watch, or that you could wear for the Super Nintendo. No, that was actually for the NES, because you could use it with Top Gun, that you would just shout, "Fire! Fire!" Or the Rollin' Rocker.
Fuck that. Pulte himself.
The best part of that interview was RC shutting down the Twitter decoding stuff. That was funny. Yeah.
Is the only guy.
But that's just part of the code, man. You don't get it. It's a double, triple cross. He says it's not a message, so only the most loyal will decipher the message. Shills and shambles.
Out there, okay, who is essentially given the PP show kind of some legitimacy here.
I also am very involved in the retail stock community, GameStop, etc., and also invest in great creators like Mr. Beast and many others.
If this fucking thing was going to zero, I guarantee you, Ryan Cohen, who's being sued for over a year, would look at his phone, see, oh, Pulte wants to meet up with me? Sorry, dude, no way.
More Morants. More Morants rants, please.
I do. No, we don't worry about meltdowners here, guys. Those guys have been wrong about this stock for years.
How so?
They're gonna continue to be wrong. I'm telling.
I don't even understand what he thinks Meltdown's been wrong about.
So previous all-time high and GameStop today. What is it? What are we looking at, guys? Are we looking at the same levels? Oh, you just want to worry about the squeeze. You're not talking about the company itself, fundamentally the company and what it could be worth and what it is worth. Remember that
People don't want to talk about the fundamentals of the company because the fundamentals of the company are dire, to say the least. All they have is a narrative about some explosive growth based on some technicality or illegality or insane nonsense, because the fundamentals aren't there to make it worth the money that people invested in this.
we're operating at the best margin ever right now. We make a profit. We're 2-to-1 on assets versus liabilities. The sheet is clean. Expansions.
Revenue is down. You made a slight profit of $5 million off of how many hundreds of millions or billions in revenue? That's terrible. That is a terrible use of money and time.
Here, leadership's here. I'm here. You're
The revenue is down. It's not happening.
here. 10 years later.
How many stores do they have left? I don't know an up-to-date number. I can try and look it up. Let me pull a tab over here to look while we watch this.
15 years later, GameStop's still here. So what the hell are we?
15 years ago, GameStop was doing better than it is now. 15 years ago would be, what, 2010-ish? 2009? That would be at the height of GameStop's success because you had the Xbox 360 out, the Wii. Like, digital distribution wasn't what it is today. It was in its infancy, so everyone was buying physical games and Wiis and controllers and shit. 15 years ago, the company was doing great. It's not 15 years ago.
What the hell are you worried about? That's GameStop. Oh, you guys can't see it? Hold on. I want to make sure you can see it. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Let's see. As of January 2023, so this is not in date. The company operates 4,413 stores, including 2,949 in the United States, 216 in Canada, 419 in Australia, 829 in Europe. I know they wound down in some countries, and I think they closed about 500 stores in the last year, so you should remove about 500 from that number at minimum.
Here you go. That's GameStop, guys.
Losing like a quarter or a fifth of your stores in a year, by the way, not a good look. Not a growth company, is it?
This line right here, from 2008.
I would say it's in remission. If it was cancer, it would be good news.
What do you know? All the way to now, today, right here. Okay, I'll do it right here. Okay? So what exactly is the problem here? Is this squeeze ruining your perception of the company? Because last I checked, this is where I want to be. I want to be right where it's at. I want to buy shares right here at $10 all day. Now, where do you go from here? From the $10? Oh, I'm so sorry. But Marantz, you bought it all in over here and all this whole trailing down. This is where you've been buying. This is why you're losing. Let me show you something. Do you see this trend from this time frame from 2014 all the way to 2020?
Yeah, that's the decline that was in reality reflecting the fact that digital sales were increasing and GameStop sales were going down and down and down and down and down.
You see that 6-year trend there of downward action?
Mm-hmm.
And then a rocket up?
Yeah, that happened because of the memes. That's what made it a meme stock. Yep. Do you think that that rocket upward was based on fundamentals, or do you think that rocket upward was based on a very specific series of events that coincided at just the right time and a media blitzkrieg that turned everyone into investors? How many people downloaded Robinhood just to buy GameStop? That's what that is. That's what the spike is. It had nothing to do with the fundamentals of the company, Marantz. You know this. You were there.
Because of manipulation, because of the stock being shorted, because they miscalculated the company.
Marantz, no! The report that the SEC put out about this explicitly states that most of the action from it going up to like $400, there was some of that people buying to try and close their shorts. That was a thing, but most of the action up to like 400 was because of the meme, was because it was on the front page of Reddit and Twitter and everywhere, and a bunch of people who had never invested in their lives threw 10, 20, 30, $100 behind this thing. It pumped it to all hell. It was not short sellers. There was an aspect of that. There was a reason that I think Keith Gill tuned in on saying, like, hey, I think this is undervalued. I don't think Keith Gill, Roaring Kitty, was, like, completely absurd in his initial assertions about GameStop. Unfortunately, after all this stuff happened, the loonies took over, and all of a sudden, everyone thinks they're Roaring Kitty, when in reality, they're degenerate gamblers.
They said it was a bankrupt company. Well, let's do the shit again. Let's see how...
Yeah, let's have another... Basically, Marantz, let me explain to you the series of things that happened that led to the GameStop, like big thing, the spike that happened in 2021. Global pandemic. People are at home. People also just had gotten like $2,000 from the government, or $600, whatever the fuck it was at that point. They had just gotten a bunch of money, and they were sitting at home on the internet, and this thing became a meme, and they took some of the money that they got, and they threw it into this. That's not happening again. And even if it did, it wouldn't happen in this exact same way. It was a very interesting and noteworthy thing to discuss and investigate, to understand social, like, happenings, to understand markets and how things can get out of control and cause bubbles. There are interesting things to talk about. What you shouldn't be talking about is trying to recreate it because it's a pump and dump, you stupid ass!
Far we're going to come down and how many shares I'm going to buy until 6 years later, they realize they got it wrong again. But this time, the short position is even more so because they didn't close shit, because they're still preying on my downfall. Well,
They did close their short positions, Morantz. They might have opened new ones. Other people have opened them. But you wouldn't hold a short position for years because the interest on holding the short shares is going to be more than the potential profit. You pay interest when you borrow shares for short selling. It doesn't make sense to hold them long term. Short positions are usually shorter plays. Annie Kai, thanks for a 10-stream streak.
Guess what I have? I have all the shares in the world. So where do we bounce from here? Where do we bounce from here? Up out of the atmosphere?
To hell.
Again? Are you going to take away the buy order, the buy button this time? Or are we really not at an all-time low? Is it really not down 90% as you say?
It is. It is? It is, though. It is?
Down 90% from the all-time high? Yes, I get that. A manipulated high. But it's...
Wait, so you understand that the high was manipulated?
It's not the real high. The previous high for GameStop before the manipulated high was $10.
Which is where you're at now! Which is still too high, considering the performance of the company. What are you even saying?
Wait a minute. We're at $10 right now. So how much further do you think this coming down?
Probably like $4. $4 is probably where I'd put it. I don't know. That's where I would put it. At least half and a little bit more.
Let me know. I'll be here.
Me too.
So check out what just happened to me at GameStop. And kudos, shout out to GameStop and how they did this. I applied for the credit card a week ago.
I trust you, Noisy Corvax. You know about the actual market mechanics more than I do.
I got approved, and I can still use it in-house immediately, right? So I go
For
down...
those who didn't see on YouTube, Noisy Corvax, who you should check out. I'll actually... One second. I don't think we've ever done this. I'm an asshole. You're in here and I've never done this. Check out Noisy Corvax, who also covers some of this meme stock stuff. Here's a link in both chats. Knows more about markets than I do. I know about weirdos and conspiracy theorists, but, yeah. If you want more, check out Noisy Corvax. There's the link. Anyway, Noisy Corvax said I'd put it at 350 based on EVE. Which, again, Corvax knows what that means. I assume one of those E's stands for earnings.
On the GameStop, I used it yesterday. $75. Buy my son a game, renew my membership, and I'm like, all right, this is cool. Well...
Why would you renew your GameStop membership? They stripped away half the shit that made it worth it, and it was never really worth it. I say that as someone who had a GameStop Pro membership for like 10 years as a kid. It was never really worth it. You know what was worth it? Game Informer. But you know what isn't a thing these days? Paper magazines. They're not really popular.
Membership getting renewed was going to be paid for because I'm approved by the credit card. They do it for free. The Game Pro membership is free when you have the credit card. So I'm like, cool, I saved $25 there. So I only paid like $50 yesterday. Well, today when
I'm sorry, he has a GameStop credit card? That doesn't surprise me, but it does disappoint me.
Went back to GameStop. I get to the transactions about like 125, and I'm like, yo, whoa, where's my discount? Like, I don't have my member discount. I'm not getting anything. And I tell him, I said, hey, it doesn't look like they renewed my membership. He goes, yeah, it was supposed to get renewed when you got approved. He's all, but it looks like it's not pulling it over. He said, look at the bottom of your receipt and call the number, the 1-800 number, see if they can help you out on the credit card side. We can't do it in-house.
So if you use the GameStop credit card, for some reason, you can't apply your member discount. Great. Well-oiled machine.
And I was like, no problem. It's not even a hassle for me because I love GameStop. I don't mind calling. Not only
a Noisy Corax. Why did I say Corvat? I'm bad at names.
They pick up right away within 2 minutes.
Sorry, I said Corvax.
Already had my information. You didn't even have to like.
Wait, is the bird called a Corax? Have I been calling that kind of bird the wrong name forever?
Explain yourself. And be like, no, this is.
Is it a Corvax?
Who I am.
Or a Corax.
Or whatever. After he talked to me, he goes, Morantz, here's what it looks like you can do.
A Corvid? I was way off!
Go ahead and credit your account 25,000 points right now. He's like, the next time you visit GameStop, we'll give you that membership for free with it. Just let him.
Corvus Corax is common raven. Hell yeah.
Know what you got going on. And I said, no problem, because I frequent the store anyway. I thought it was a great solution for the problem. Now, if you want to be a disgruntled, I guess, shopper, you could raise hell about this and be like, you got me driving to a GameStop again and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not that way. I'm always looking for a solution to the.
Like, you shouldn't be an angry boomer and, like, get mad at people, like, just doing their job. It's not their fault. But also, it's not unreasonable to be kind of, like, disappointed and not satisfied with the fact that the basic functionings of the membership that you bought don't work. Like, you can be like, wow, that's bullshit, and maybe reconsider your purchase of that. But, you know, that's me.
The problem. And I think GameStop did that tenfold. I liked calling the call center. They were good. I just want to put that out there. GameStop gave me a good transaction, and I liked it. They had a good response. Even the in-store employee had a good response. So, yeah, shout out to GameStop and what they're doing, and shout out to their leadership. They're doing it right. Appreciate you guys. Peace.
I don't understand how he took a video about complaining and turned it into an advertisement to buy more GameStop.
Hey guys, I just want to highlight my experience at GameStop recently when I went shopping there. I love it. The minute I walk in, they acknowledge you, they say hello, and they'll even remember you if
That's most stores of about that size, in my experience.
you shop frequently. But I want to talk about,
For instance, I have local comic book shops and local used like movie stores that I've gone to. They know me in some of those places as well. And also, I don't feel like those places rip me off like GameStop does. But whatever.
the value proposition for GameStop. What I heard.
Is he about to talk about how great the employees at GameStop are? Well, all throughout the last, year, he's been talking about how, actually, it's completely fine that they're cutting employee benefits and healthcare and all sorts of stuff, because really, fuck them. Fuck them! These people's well-being and ability to pay their bills and have medical insurance comes second to Morant's making money, obviously.
Either GameStop's training their employees really well, and they should be, or these employees really care. We'll just go with both. Two things can be right. So I'll explain. This employee behind the counter, her name's Bianca, and she goes, hey, I see you're a GamePro member. She's not talking to me, she's talking to someone else, but I'm listening. And she says, I see you're a GamePro member, and you get $5 off each month on your transaction. She's like, would you like to use that this month? And they're like, sure.
$5 off a month. How much is the membership cost?
She's like, but I'll
$5 off a month. It would save me money to not get the membership.
also see you're buying a video game. So if you want to, we can go ahead and add the warranty on. So since we're giving you the $5,
$25 a year? Is that $25 a year? So you'd have to get something at GameStop at least 5 times in a year to make that maybe worth it. It would have to be in 5 separate months.
like you're not paying
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's easier to just wait for sales and buy stuff digitally.
for the warranty at all for the 1 year, but if you get for
Alternatively, for $25, I could get Game Pass and play a bunch of games, whatever.
2 years, you're probably going to pay about $2, so $1 a year. She breaks it down in smaller numbers, and yet still explains the value of what it could be, because a warranty could be infinitely the price of the product, right? So she explained it that way. It triggered in my head. I'm like, okay, that's pretty awesome. Then in addition to that, when they bring up a game, she always goes, hey, let me check to see if I have any pre-owned video games on this title. We'll see if we have that available so I can get an added discount. Now, I know the margins would be increased for GameStop, and it's great for business. But then I walked up to the counter, and she knows me, and we frequent, I frequent the store often, which is great because they remember you, right?
Do the employees know that you regularly talk about how they, don't necessarily deserve health insurance and stuff? Do they know that? Just a thought.
So I go, hey, I
Wonder if they'd be as nice.
heard about a game called Helldivers 2. She's like, oh my God. And then she explained it to me. She said, it's not really in stock physical because the demand was so high, they probably didn't know it was going to be that high. She's like, let's go see if we have one. And of course, they had one, right? It's hard to find. So I was happy to find it. But then I go, hey, what about Cardsmiths?
Is that hard to find? Give me a second. Let me find a physical copy in 5 seconds on the internet. Yeah, I could click a button right now and buy it immediately. It's really hard to find, guys. You just gotta take 5 seconds to type the name of the game into your search bar.
I'm looking right here. There's no currency cards here. I know they're $30 a pack. She's like, oh my goodness, everyone's buying them out. Then she looks online. She goes, oh, we have 3 here, 4 there. At the neighboring GameStops. And I'm like, oh, I can get same day delivery. I can get them delivered to me. I can buy them all, whatever it may be. And I think that the communication between stores is key. That's the omni-channel, as far as what's available, what's not.
Okay, I have an idea. How about, to streamline this further, we take the GameStop stores and they're, shipping games between one and the other and sending them to you same-day shipping. How about, instead of having a bunch of GameStop stores that you walk into all around, why don't we create like a big warehouse somewhere, and all the employees are at the warehouse, and then you order stuff from your computer, and then they find the stuff in the warehouse, and it's all centralized, so you have economies of scale going on, and then they ship the product to you maybe in like 2 days on some sort of, I don't know, prime shipping plan.
That technology didn't exist 3 years ago. Additionally,
The technology to ship things to your house didn't exist 3 years ago?
training in store. I know who the district manager is, and for them to come in and tell each store director and or employee, hey, this is the way we want to present this package, this value. I thought the value proposition for GameStop is infinite.
But the
And I-
people at the warehouse won't remember you? I'm an introvert. The fewer people that remember me, the better.
I love the way the leadership's doing it. So shout out to them and the culture they're developing. But more than likely, if you shop at GameStop, you already know most of this. But I'm thinking for the employees, if they think they don't make a difference, if they think that we don't notice as consumers,
I think they just want to do their job and go home. I think they probably want to, and don't get me wrong, I think the people at GameStop broadly probably do like video games and stuff. There's parts of the job they like. Even in shitty jobs, you can find yourself finding some bright spots. But I imagine they don't really give a shit about you, Marantz. They want to do their job and go home.
I clearly notice.
Terradona says, the place I'd never want to work again, Amazon. Yeah, it's a nightmare. Amazon's also my boss. Amazon owns Twitch. Did you guys know that? Amazon owns Twitch.
And that's why I shop there. That's it. You guys have fun. I'll keep going back again and again. Actually, I'm going today. So, oh, hey, check this out. I applied for the credit card. I get approved. They tell me I got to wait 2 weeks, right? No. You can walk in as long as you have your ID, and you can use it.
That's typical. I got a Best Buy card about 10 years ago to buy a TV. And the same thing. I had my ID and everything, and they, gave me the card. Or they didn't have the card there, but like I applied, and they put it on the card, and then they shipped me the card from whatever weeks later, but I got the TV that day. Again, this is typical retail. I worked at Toys R Us back in the day. I worked at Toys R Us for a Christmas season, and this was a decade ago, and we had that too. They'd have you like ask people if they wanted to do the credit card and fill out the thing, and it was instant. This is not unique to GameStop. This is not new. I was doing this at Toys R Us a decade ago, and do you know what happened to Toys R Us?
So, of course, I'm like, hey, let me use it. I got a free year of the Game Pro membership with it. So, apply for the credit card if you like, guys. See what you guys can do in store. See if there's anything you want. Or
You worked at Toys R Us till the end? That was probably sad. I worked in the electronics section. So sort of like the little tiny GameStop inside the Toys R Us.
if you've been wanting for the holiday season and or the summertime coming, or any birthdays, anniversaries, you guys name it. I shop there as often as I can. So that's GameStop. Take care.
Oh, this isn't great. Polte went on the Tim Pool's dog shit show, so that's great. Noisy Korak says, see, this is going to be Marant's new conspiracy. Hannah and I are both former Toys R Us employees, so we work for the man now. It's true. When the private equity got involved in Toys R Us, they recruited us all into a sleeper program to become shills. That's how they get shills, is when they buy your company. They own you. Someone help me. Ken Griffith uses me as an ashtray, and the worst part is I kind of like it.
Do recommend that because building a networking is how you win a culture
Hannah regrets what she just said on the bingo card.
war. So smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is Pulte.
Thanks, man.
Who are you? What do you do?
I am the inventor, so-called, of Twitter philanthropy, which is now called X Philanthropy. We help people with direct giving.
I'm wearing the thing.
Thank you for
I don't know
wearing
what this
it.
thing is called. It's a
Giving
sweater.
away millions of dollars of my own money on Twitter. But most importantly, what we've done is raise millions of dollars on Twitter directly for people who are in immediate need and crisis. I also am very involved in the retail stock community, GameStop, etc. And also,
What's the etc.? Is he, like, does PP not hear this or the other people and not see, like, isn't it weird that he didn't mention Bed Bath & Beyond here? Isn't it weird?
invest in great creators like Mr. Beast and many others. So
Right
happy to
on.
be here. Thanks for having
Absolutely.
me.
Thanks for hanging out. Hannah, the federal government is doing everything in its power to destroy the fabric of this country and the lives of its constituents, the lives of the people who are supposedly
Famous centrist Tim Pool.
making the government up. They allowed how many millions in the past few years? What is it, like?
They're saying 7, but it's probably higher.
Those are
It's probably higher, because that would be better for my argument.
the ones that we
Yeah.
know about, the
Yeah.
encounters.
You hear 7 to 10, but it
7 to
must be
10
more.
million
20
non-citizens.
million.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm also hearing.
And the thing that I think too that's crazy about this is, Tim, is because my family founded a Fortune 500 home building company, and everybody always asks me, how are housing companies?
Are you involved in that now? What's your involvement in that now, Palte? Are you involved in that company? If not, why?
And how are all these houses so expensive these days? Well, partially it's because of all this immigration.
It's not. You know who isn't buying up all the property in your neighborhood? Undocumented immigrants. You know who is? Large companies.
In my opinion, because what happens
That's a dumb opinion, Palte. I see why you're not working at your family's company anymore. You're a dumbass.
is you have a lot of these lower income immigrants come into the country. They take up the housing stock. They take up the demand.
Yes, famously, again, penniless immigrants come in and buy up all the property. Who listens to this and believes it?
And they push up prices. I think this is also going to cause inflation with regard to housing. And to your point, when you don't enforce the laws and you allow people to come in, and I'm not saying one thing or the other, I'm just saying the facts of supply and demand are, if you have the same amount of supply or lower supply, which you have for housing, and you have greater demand, you're going to see also the cost of goods, in my opinion, go up in this country and continue to go up, specifically housing.
This is something that the immigration minister in New Zealand just talked about.
Show. It might have been like Fairly Odd Parents or something. And that
Wait, what was he referencing? Fairly Odd Parents?
and he gets turned into an old person and his pants immediately shoot up to his elbows or to his armpits. The idea being that when you get old, you naturally just decide to pull your pants way up. No, it's because 50 years ago, people wore their pants much higher.
Tim, it's a joke. Are you analyzing the joke in Fairly Odd Parents? The episode that's actually from the first episode of Fairly Odd Parents after it got picked up as a series when he turns old. I remember that.
Today, they still wear their pants much higher. Younger generations have different practices. So the idea now is we see like something is wrong with people. What's driving people insane? No, you're mistaken. This guy was always insane. His generation 20 years ago, the reason we didn't see people doing this 20 years ago is because boomers were very different than this. Now you've got Gen Xers who are a very different generation, raised with different values, engaging in these behaviors. What do you think is going to happen when the jackass generation is old and angry about politics? And it's already starting to happen. Jess Margera won't shut up about Trump. I mean, this guy does not like Donald Trump. And I'm like, you're the drummer from the Jackass videos. Like, why are you going on Twitter and screaming about Donald Trump? It's just these generations
It's crazy.
are moving into political spaces. They're older. And
Why does Tim Pool act like he's a really smart 80-year-old when he's a really dumb 30-something?
what you'll get is this. So take a look at what millennials do and now consider what they'll do when they're older, when they're the ones in charge of these institutions.
Well, I'll say this. So I have this Twitter following, right? I was on the board of this Fortune 500 company, which is our family's company. It's $20 billion
How is he gonna spin this?
company. One of the executives was running a whole network of fake accounts, Tim, on Twitter to attack me using other people's identities. Can you imagine that? Yes, this is all true. Okay, he was fired from
It's
this
definitely
Fortune
true.
500 company for running all these fake accounts against me. My point being is this guy's
And yet you're the one not working at the company anymore. Isn't that interesting?
however old, right? 45, 50 years old, multimillionaire executive. It's just like this guy with, I mean, it's different. This guy's doing arson. This guy's coming up with fake accounts. What is creating people to just go?
Millennials are in their 40s now, Tim. Tim is a millennial, so I don't know why he would know that. He's a millennial.
And do these crazy.
I don't know anything about a disinheritance. I have not heard that. I just know he got removed from the company. But he still has money. He's definitely wealthy. He has millions of dollars.
See acts right now where they're hiding behind things or going out and doing this, thinking nobody's going to catch them. And they're just totally mentally hijacked. And this is happening everywhere.
Eric RPG, thanks for 31 months.
Everywhere it's happening.
I don't think it was months apart. I think he put the wrong February was wrong or something like that.
He might. I remember.
March came and everything.
But think about it.
So awesome.
Think about how low inflation was, right? When interest rates were so low. I mean, that was really, in my opinion, the magic sauce.
The magic sauce to reducing inflation is low interest rates? That's the opposite of how that works. What are you talking about? What in the Keynesian hell is this? I'm gonna vomit everywhere. I'm just gonna vomit on everything like a goddamn xenomorph, and I hope it melts the world. Captain Squid says, I'm Nick Polte. I was involved in my family's Fortune 500 company. Sir, this is a Wendy's.
You know, I'm in business day to day, and you look at what happened starting in 2020 with these cost of goods sold, you know, the inputs, the cost of the inputs. I mean, people were just not making as much money anymore. Not just because of Trump and stuff, I think, but or to the extent that you think that Trump wasn't help lower inflation. But it's not just earning more money; it's also stuff costing you less.
Yeah,
right.
I wonder if we get World War III before November.
Tim, remember how you've been talking about how there's gonna be a civil war like every day for like 5 years? You're trying to switch it up?
I feel like the Democrats would certainly prefer it.
Yes, everyone would certainly prefer World War III, a normal thing that people wish for sure.
Need anything.
It's mutually assured destruction, though, don't you think?
Yeah, but I kind of feel...
Oh boy, yeah, I want to hear these bright minds discuss their thoughts on game theory.
Like if you're facing prison when Donald Trump sends the DOJ into your state to start ripping through the corruption, you're going to sink the whole ship.
You think he will use the DOJ this time?
I'm hopeful. I lean slightly towards I think it's more likely.
Oh, they're literally discussing how they want Trump to use the Department of Justice and weaponize it to try and take totalitarian control of state governments. Yay!
Especially with people like Kash Patel. So, you know what I think Trump did in his first term was he tried to play ball. I remember I was...
Oh my god, really?
Tens of thousands of years, children were raised by their parents. And then at the turn of the century in the 1900s, industrial...
Children are raised not just by parents. Have you heard that it takes a village? Communal child rearing is more the norm than nuclear family. Just for the record.
Happened, and then all of a sudden it was like, now that you're going to a factory, your children will be taken from you and handed to the state.
Formal schooling existed prior to that, dipshit.
And this is good. Now we're in a society where it's the expectation and I have no choice.
Yeah, we yearn for the days when the kids could come to the factory with us and use their little arms to reach into machinery too small for us to get.
Well, I'm not saying it's easy, but you need to figure it out.
And the parents aren't anywhere near. The father-in-law isn't anywhere near. The mother-in-law isn't anywhere
That's
near.
a big component of it.
Nucleus.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an amazing mother-in-law. I mean, if I didn't have her, I mean, not only who would be these strangers who would help raise the kids, but I mean, what happened to that family nucleus? And now everybody can live.
What happened to you?
Live everywhere, and you can get on airplanes and stuff. It's like I don't think we understand the damage that a lot of these benefits in our society have done.
No. Are any of these men parents? Tim isn't, because Tim doesn't even have a girlfriend. I don't know Polte's personal life, and frankly, I don't really give a shit.
I totally agree.
I've never heard Polte mention a kid. I do think he's married, though, and I don't really care to poke into people's personal lives if they don't openly talk about it themselves. So.
You on the show tonight?
Doing good. Glad to be on here, guys. What do we got?
Yeah, so there was something that you had posted here that I wanted to get your opinion on tonight. It says all GameStop logo items are gone from the online store. Something big is about to happen. Rebranding, merger, acquisition. It says results 2. And then I think you made another follow-up post where there was 111 brand name products. So I did want to ask you, were these two things correlated or no?
Just correlated with my random research. I just went on to see if
correlated with your what?
You know, those I've been looking for the damn socks forever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so good. And I only bought 2 pairs the first time, two black and 1 white, and they've been sold out for like 3 years.
Peeplord with 69 bits. Nice. Says, how hilarious would it be if Trump's case in the Supreme Court about presidential immunity goes through? He's absolved of all of accountability because President, and Joe Brandon congratulates him with a surprise SEAL Team 6 party. I guarantee somehow, whatever the decision is, if it is that they grant presidential immunity, they will try and do it in some way to say, basically, Republicans can do whatever they want. Not Joe Biden, though. That's a joke. But either way, what a ridiculous, ridiculous world. Everything's a nightmare. Every waking moment is further evidence that I shouldn't... No. Too far even for a joke. Okay, never mind. Reversing that.
And I went on last night, just like whenever I'm ordering new Cardsmith cards for my charity, I'll just look at the GameStop logo stuff, the clothing, to see if there's any super good deals or something. Because I've gotten sweatpants for like $6 on clearance.
Has Bed Bath & Beyond gone to the moon yet? Yes, we're all in shambles. PP is a billionaire, and he is running for the governor of New York.
Before, so I bought like 50 for all my clients that are shareholders. And then I look for the white pearl sweatshirts every time that come on like once a year. And then I looked last night, and it said that the t-shirts were on clearance. I'm like, dude, $7. Like, sign me up. I'll get 100 of those. And I go to it, and it says no shipping to home, like just in stores only. And then I noticed that where my arrow is, there's 2 results for GameStop, and the other one had nothing to do with it. It was a GameStop affiliated shirt for a video game or something that they got the contract for. So they had 1 item left for all of their clothing that had their same logo on it. And then I clicked on the t-shirt and it said in stores only. There's 0 to ship to people. So there's no more clothing left except for what's in a store. And now it's on.
Have you considered they're not stocking it because no one goes online to buy a GameStop t-shirt?
Clearance for the cheapest price ever on their t-shirts to try and get every single one sold before.
So why do you think that is? Because what I had seen recently also is that apparently they canceled their trademark for Jamaican clothing. Now
I think they canceled the trademark for Gmerica everything.
All of a sudden you can't order clothing also as well via GameStop. I mean, how do you kind of see it, or how it's kind of taking place here as we start to wrap up the show tonight? Kevin, would love to hear.
This is what the PP show is like now, by the way. They have nothing to talk about, so they'll spend like a ludicrous amount of time on something as simple as can't get their t-shirts on the internet anymore. What's that about? Of course, this is about GameStop, not Bed Bath, but there's even less to talk about Bed Bath, so.
Your opinion on that, and then maybe some closing thoughts, and then hopefully we can get you and Ramez on this Friday, maybe for a little Royal Rumble, man, on the show. Maybe you guys can hash out a couple things, and then maybe we can move on from it here at the, here at the PP show, man. People will go back and forth, and then they
also let Player Digital Store trademark die alongside Gmerica. I assumed that was happening after they had gotten rid of their Web3 team, but it's good to know.
Come out stronger, man.
That must be why they're on the controller stuff now, because Player was kind of in the background as a thing that, like, Player is going to come in and Web3, blah, 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 blah. Is that why they're on their stupid controllers now?
So, Kevin Malone, what are your thoughts here with...
I haven't heard Morantz talk about the controllers, though. That's good. It's a little bit of dignity he's saving himself, I guess.
Obviously, the Jamaican clothing trademark being canceled. Now you can't supposedly order clothing from via GameStop to have it delivered, and also some closing thoughts to wrap up tonight.
Well, they also deleted all of the other items. They're not sold out. They're all gone, except for the t-shirts that are left in the stores. So they used to have, all the time there'd be 8 other items. I think there's 9 total, including the sweatshirts, the long sleeve, the sweatpants, the shorts, the socks. kid T-shirts, and 2 or 3 others. But now those are all deleted off the website. And the only thing left is the shirts that don't exist at their e-commerce site or the warehouses.
Why
but
is
only
there a
in
cyber
stores.
truck with the
So
Pulte thing on the back?
It's easily going to a new company name, which I wouldn't do, or a merger or something, or just a new logo.
Has Epic made money with the Epic Game Store even at this point? Or are they still taking a loss on it?
Rebrand.
Maybe.
Yeah, rebrand,
Yeah.
which I can't imagine. I mean, there's only one company for the most famous short squeeze in history, and it's that one. And maybe they just got a new company to screen print their shirts, because whoever does the red print on all those is just awful. Like GameStop red is its own color, and all the t-shirts and sweatshirts, it's like the most dull red ever compared to like how bright GameStop is from a million miles away when you see their logo.
Are you upset that the logos on the shirts aren't as bright as a LED sign? Do you want them to put lights in the t-shirt? I have some shirts with lights in them, but you can't wash them.
But regardless of that, I went back online today to make sure it wasn't just like a glitch, someone screwed up. I had a couple of comments saying, hey, maybe a programmer missed.
They're Christmas sweaters, and I've only ever worn them at holidays with layers underneath, so I don't sweat into the shirt that can't be washed. For the record, I'm not disgusting.
Labeled them or something like that. I'm like, really? And then they deleted all the old clothing? No.
Yeah,
And so I went back on
something's
today.
weird here.
Yeah, I went back on today searching a couple of the comments that someone said, like they were saying, type in this, type in this, type in that. And I typed in GameStop brand and then counted physically all the ones that were actually GameStop instead of affiliated on a contract. They have 111 in-house items now that have the highest profits. Like you make your own USB cords, your own cases for a Nintendo DRS.
Do they understand that GameStop is not manufacturing those, like, GameStop branded whatever bullshit? They buy them from third-party companies. Now, don't get me wrong, because they're having them custom GameStop branded and they're from some, like, white label bullshit, I'm sure that the margins on those are higher than, like, a game or something from, you know, Nintendo or Sony. But they're not going to sustain their business model by selling people Ethernet cords or, like, whatever. This is insanity.
Yes, your own screen protectors, chargers. I just saw someone's new charger on Superstock tonight, and I was like, oh shit, GameStop makes a charger now?
They buy chargers. They buy them. They are a store. Do they not understand the difference between a storefront and a manufacturer? Like, when they go to, like, a store, like a supermarket, do they think that supermarket made all the stuff in the supermarket? Like, do they understand that GameStop selling something, and even if it has a GameStop name on it, doesn't mean GameStop made it. It means they bought it from a white label manufacturer, had their logo put on it, and are selling it in their stores. They are a store. They are not a manufacturer, and never have been.
And then I went to the site, and there's 111 items they own now, just like Amazon Prime items, like they're charging
Amazon Choice
cords and stuff like that. So 111 things they're going to have higher margins than they did last year selling someone else's at wholesale. That they're in-housing.
Boy, I sure do hope their entire business model is sustainable off people coming in to buy chargers
with their own brand logo on it, just to add to their profitability.
Right on. All right, Kevin Malone, any closing thoughts? You got us right as we're wrapping up the show tonight, but please feel free to come back later this week for a little bit longer.
So, for a healthy conscience for myself to Meltdown crew, I will no longer be going to your website. I just don't need it. Like, I really just had a thought right now in my head as I'm making this video and I'm talking, and this guy's talking out of his ass. I was just like, these guys aren't worth my time. I said that before, but the more outlandish it gets, the more insane it gets. You realize that they're falling to pieces, not me.
Shields in shambles.
I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe the comment that was made. I mean, I can believe it. But I gotta go to bed soon. I gotta go to work. And You know, I always got a little upset 'cause he would be like, "Who works at night?" And, you know, "Who works at the" He doesn't understand it's a 24/7 business, you know? Mopping floors is a hard job. This guy is off the rails, yeah.
It's not because I hate PP. It's not because I hate BBBY. It's not because I hate the people that are associated with that stock. It has zero to do with that. 0%. It has nothing to do with that.
I didn't catch the Nintendo DRS line.
The reason I get so upset is because we have watched for 3 years guys like Astro, Matt Kors, Mass Investor, Trades. I could go down Pickle Guy, fucking Gherkin and Jerkin and Douche. I could go up and down the fucking list. Moran.
I remember Gherkin it.
Dickhead Rants. I could go up and down the list, top to bottom. Every single one of them has lied to us and stolen.
I haven't seen ABC in a while, but I didn't hear anything. I assume he's around.
Our money. How much longer? How much longer do I have to wait and watch these guys steal our money before we eventually do something about it? Now I spilled my damn coffee.
Oh, poor Pop.
Next, guys, GameStop. How great is it? Is it a dying company? No. Somebody just said in the chat.
The revenue is shrinking year over year. Their footprint is shrinking year over year. Yeah.
Marantz, other YouTubers think it's a dying company. No, you started out the process totally wrong. You said other YouTubers. Did you mean Wall Street analysts? Did you mean, you know, potential institutional investors? Maybe they all think it's dead and done. But I know what it is. Do you know what the markup is per product? And especially if it's private label for GameStop. A lot of things I buy. My mouse pad, GameStop. My mouse, GameStop. Keyboard.
Most people do not buy GameStop branded mouses and keyboards and mouse pads, etc., Marantz. That is a you thing because you think making one-off random purchases at this store is going to somehow help it. It doesn't matter if their margins are higher on those items, they're less desirable and fewer people buy them. It's not going to save them. The revenue is down.
GameStop. And I'm talking about the brand itself. Well, there's another brand out there called Candy Con. If you guys are not familiar with it.
Oh, he is talking about the goddamn controllers. Okay, what I said earlier about him maintaining some dignity by not diving into the controller delusion, never mind. He doesn't even get that point. That's a shame.
It's the controllers, and it's allowing you to do interchangeable, I guess, skins to your controller.
They're face plates. You can change out the face plates and the sticks. They're not even the first people to do that.
Buttons, the layout, however you want to do it. And these CandyCon controllers are actually rated very high. They actually put a lot of effort into this, but I can only imagine what the markup is for GameStop. Because to produce the controller and then produce the skins and the colors and everything, so you want to customize your controllers, you want to change them here and there, you can do it with the Wind. You don't have to buy a whole new controller. You can just buy the skin itself. And these controllers are valuable. But remember what I told you guys like 3 years ago, right? The number one thing about any type of gaming system is about the accessories. And I found this out because I went to the swap meet.
Man, Salvatore with the 5. Can you ask Michael why he keeps begging for money after he already got 10K? All right, there you have it. Salty Lizard with the 5. Yesterday's GoFundMe had Options Addiction Fund in the hyperlink. What mean PP? Transparency PP. Please, you'll have to ask Michael. That one's salty.
Just real quick, I actually had the thought. I was like, I've never had someone like chronicle my life like in this detail.
Oh, the infighting's gotten worse as they've gotten more desperate and there have been fewer outside threats because fewer people even interact with them at this point outside of the community. They've turned on each other to some extent. There's a lot more contention.
I'm sure you guys as well. And I don't know, after MOAS, like I'm thinking like maybe I should just like pay them for like the biography, like the whole dossier of like the whole event. Because they've been chronicling it better than any of us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you have a lot of fans over there at the Meltdown sub, Michael. You should be honored getting posted over there again. I feel like every single person here at the show has been posted there once or twice. So
once or twice.
It's funny, like one of them was like, "You're not famous," and it's like I literally within 30 minutes got 300 upvotes on a random sub that was like watching my life.
Yeah, right on. All right.
Right on. He said it. Oopsie. That's not what I wanted.
It's not a fucking joke. I actually fucking care. And when you hear me getting really upset with PP Seeds about that stuff, it's not because I hate PP. It's not because I hate BBBY. It's not because I hate the people that are associated with that stock. It has zero to do with that. 0%. It has nothing to do with that. The reason I get so upset is because we have watched for 3 years guys like Astro, Matt Kors, Mass Investor, Trades. I could go down Pickle Guy, fucking gherkin and jerkin and douche. I could go up and down.
This is the same clip, just without the same thing. That's a shame.
1 year. Now you're sitting here in 1987, propped up off the idea that private equity is going to buy you out. That's all this is here. But yes, 248 million. I mean, wouldn't you be heartbroken as an investor if you went from 1.66 billion, which is the number there for actual equity and revenue, I should say, operating income, 1.66 billion down to 248 million. We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem, and that is Macy's.
But GameStop has declining revenue. GameStop does.
I posted a screenshot of my Twitter post on Meltdown and said, my charity can't thank you guys enough for all of your support. And it's up there right now, so I hope at least 1,000 people here tonight go on the Meltdown and just
I have a special fucking talent for this. I'm really fucking good at this. And I want to share my talent with people who are like-minded. People like me that just want to fucking stop being fucking poor. And I'm just so fucking sick of being fucking poor my entire fucking life.
Me too. I agree. Gambling isn't going to solve that problem. It's going to make it worse. Please stop gambling away your money.
Why am I going to sit here and be fucking emotional because somebody said it goes down? I want to make more money, so when it goes down lower, I get the opportunity to make more. And it's just so fucking stupid that we would rather sit here and stay fucking broke than actively learn to do something that can change your life for fucking ever. That's why I love the Tits Gang. That's why I love you guys so much. Because you're all in here.
Tits Gang, because the channel that posted this, their name is Jackie La Tits. So it's Tits Gang.
Actually,
it's supposed to be a take on My Tits Are Jacked, which is a meme in the meme stock community.
Wanting to learn and be great. And not only be great, but no longer be fucking poor. And take control of your fucking life.
I don't know if gambling recklessly is taking control of your life or losing it.
And that's what we're going to do, because I'm going to teach you how to do it. We're going to beat these motherfuckers.
This is sad. This guy probably actually has a gambling addiction. This is just depressing.
Every fucking time. And we're going to shit on every single motherfucker that goes against us on Twitter. We're going to shit on every single motherfucker that goes...
This reminds me, there was the most recent episode of the Magnus Archives had a guy who found an app that let him short sell his life. Magnus Archives is kind of like an audio anthology supernatural horror series. So, reminds me a little bit of his diatribe at the end of that episode, if anyone else saw it or listened to it. Guy was just ranting all about how much money he deserves, even though he had actively ruined his life in pursuit of said money. Reminds me of that.
Against on YouTube.
Check out the Magnus Archives on Spotify and where other podcasts are available.
You got some fucking shit to say? Bring it in. Bring it in. I'll soak it in like the fucking rays of sunshine, baby. Because guess what's going to happen? I'm going to make all 114 people listening right now rich as shit. Because they've already made me rich. My life has never fucking been better. Because of
Sounds like it. This is the sound of a person whose life is going great and definitely has everything under control.
You guys and my wife and what we have built, my life has never fucking been better. But I need more. Not money. I'm not rich monetarily. I'm rich because of the people that I have met from the Tits Gang.
Still buying a share a day after. Price is all the way down to $11 right now. I see people splashing in 20,000, 30,000, 100,000, 200,000. I'm telling you, the buy orders that come through the Discord. Discord's completely free. We all hang out in the Discord. Hundreds. You guys are buying shares like crazy. People are going to be rich. People are going to see the profits.
Altered Undying says, I feel like people are stuck in like a Calvinist breakdown. If I do the right thing, I should be rich. Why I not rich? Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. They're so sure that their modality should be giving them wealth that they completely break down when it doesn't happen because they can't admit that maybe their initial premises were wrong. So they just get stuck in this like buffering, angry confusion. I get that. I've had emotional breakdowns before. But, you know, you hope you don't double down.
Oh, that's right. Because I'm going to explain to you why the stock keeps coming down. Pay attention. GameStop. This little company people don't buy. Okay? Or people claim is dead. I don't care what you think about the company itself. Let's just take fundamentals off the table right now. Let's take the fact that GameStop is...
What? We're taking the company's actual reality out of... Okay, fuck it. Let's give him this for now. He says it. Let's do it. Let's hear him out.
Profitable, which they are. They make a profit. Not many companies...
If I spent $10,000 and made a $1 profit, was that a good use of my time? Was that a good use of the $10,000? Okay.
And the world can say that. They make a net profit. I'm telling you right now, not many can say that because at the level you're at.
Did he just say not many can say that? The bottom, like the bare minimum is that your company makes a profit. What are you talking about? What? Not many do it. What? Successful companies generally make a profit. Most companies make a profit if they're like been around for a while. Like most businesses fail in the first 2 years. So there probably is sort of a bottom level where a lot of companies aren't making money. But for the most part, if we're talking about large, functional, multinational companies, they should be making, at minimum, a profit. The issue at that level isn't, is it making a profit? The issue should be more, how much of a profit? Again, I'm not saying I like the system and how it works. I'm trying to describe the incentive sets as they exist currently. Vance, thanks for a $10 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you very much.
And the influence people have. You can get hit many different ways here. I'll give you the case in point. Companies like Kohl's, Macy's. Who are the other?
Why is he specifically listing terrible failed businesses? Are the only businesses he's capable of like being aware of brick and mortar dying stores from like the last century? Brants, stop comparing GameStop to other failing stores.
The ones that deal off of credit card fees. I had some other ones out of it. It didn't matter. These guys are only profitable because of credit card fees.
Didn't you just... But wait, you have a GameStop credit card and you like it and promote it. What? So our store card's a bad thing now? Which is it, Marantz? Have some integrity and consistency, please.
They're not profitable because of operations. So right away, everybody wants to tag GameStop and say they're not profitable off of operations. They're only profitable because of interest rates. Okay, well, guess what? That's operations right now. It's cash on hand. Now, why don't these other companies have cash on hand? Why can't these other
Because they weren't handed a bunch by weird retail investors.
Companies generate a profit. Why is it that AMC...
Does he think that $1 billion on hand at GameStop got through operations? It came from selling shares to people like you, Marantz. You gave them that money. They didn't earn it.
Offer up their company $2.25 billion worth of shares over the last 3 years and not have a single dollar to their name and or interest in the swing for a swing profit, whatever. Why can't they do this? Why are they losing $400 million a year or $396 million a year while Cinemark is making 3x? Don't know. Companies are made to fail. Companies are made to run this way. But let's talk about GameStop just from the investment standpoint. Multiple investors currently today in the media,
Daniel Olson, thanks for
on
subscribing
Reddit,
on
on
YouTube.
Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Steam, on Rumble, on Kick. I don't care where they're at. Multiple investors bet against
That's the same name
GameStop.
of one of my favorite YouTubers.
5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. They bet on the demise of a company that they believed every headline that said, this is not a profitable company. It's digital that's taking over, and this company's going bankrupt. Isn't it gone? Isn't it dead? Somebody just told me that yesterday. How could it be dead? It's profitable, and they sell $5 billion worth of product. But okay. Everybody bet against it. Okay? Here's the bet. Now, as they bet against GameStop, GameStop fundamentals keep going up. So as the price...
Their revenue year over year has continued to shrink. The only reason they were able to eke out a profit in Q4 was A, because it's Q4. If you can't make a profit in Q4, what are you doing? Second of all, because they cut benefits across the fucking board. What are you talking about, Marantz? It's such an intentional, like, obtuse view that he has. He's so focused in on, like, we made a profit, we made a profit, we made a profit. Again, if I spend $1 million and my profit off of whatever that venture is $1, that's a waste. That's an I lost out on an opportunity cost. It's not just about making and eking out a small profit. If you have the footprint that GameStop has and the operating expenses that GameStop has, and you are only making like $6 million or whatever year over year, that's terrible. That's basically a waste of everyone's time. Sorry, forget I'm not on YouTube, wrong button.
This comes down on GameStop.
Oh, Fennikagami with 50 bits says, this is so much like dealing with fundamentalist Christian like creationists. They're unable to question their understanding of their beliefs. They're unable to understand why other people don't think like they do, so it must be other people are lying and the world is conspiring against them. That's not just like creationists or whatever. That's basically any conspiratorial worldview that depends upon motivated reasoning. So sure, creationism, flat earthers as well, QAnon, all of these things end up in these high control groups where they very specifically pick out the topics that they talk about and the framing, because anything outside of that is devastating to the worldview. It's like their meta-narratives are built in such a way that they are self-protective. It's interesting.
They have to keep lowering the price because their collateral versus that short position is getting damaged. Now think about this, guys. I want you to think like how I think. Okay, that's fine. People are gonna be like, Marantz, you're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. Okay, watch this. Call me crazy. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
The lower the price GameStop gets, okay, going down, the market, the SPY, the S&P 500, the stocks that are getting pumped are going higher.
Right? Because those companies, the market in general and what it's doing right now is kind of weird, and I don't want to talk about it, especially because I don't have the expertise to do so, and I'd come off as ignorant, because I am. But I think it's pretty fair to say that if your company isn't doing well, and the rest of the market is doing better, maybe there's something wrong with the company you've invested in. For instance, maybe it has a man-baby CEO that doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe it's an out-of-date business model that hasn't updated itself and has no path forward. There can be a myriad of reasons. At the end of the day, it's the same. I don't know what he's about to say here, but it's gonna hurt me psychically. I can feel the damage leaching.
GameStop, S&P 500, GameStop. Do you know why? Because if GameStop went up If GameStop went up, they would have to increase their position. And you can't. Where are you going to get more money?
Again, he's basing his thesis on the debunked naked short selling that is not happening.
How are you going to keep increasing your collateral? The thing that offsets.
They're so stuck on these initial premises, this idea that there are naked short sellers running rampant but leave no evidence. They are so stuck on that initial premise that they're completely unable to understand why what they find from those premises is incorrect. How frustrating that must be as a life. Like, on some level, I joke and it's an entertainment show. I do feel bad for Morantz, though. He's a grifter, don't get me wrong. He's hurting other people through his action, but I do think that at least part of him believes some of this shit. Maybe not all of it, but on some level he has trapped himself in a set of incentives that disallow him from behaving in rational ways. It's not good. It's not good. Cloud Wizard says, what's that saying? A rising tide lifts all boats except the one that they bet against. It's always the they, isn't it?
You're long. For every short that they're short, they need a long. And their long's being pumped. It gets pumped with Bitcoin. It gets pumped with Apple. It gets pumped with Nvidia. It gets pumped with the next blue chip. Algorithms work this way. What do you think happens when GameStop's so heavy? For 3.5 years, the same investors, over 193,000, have been buying shares for 3.5 years. And you keep knocking the price down thinking people are going to sell?
Again, his entire worldview is predicated not on just that the company's doing worse and there are fewer overall retail investors and many have given up because it's been years and they can't afford to sustain this. No, it has to be that no one is selling, even though if you're buying, someone is selling. There are two sides to every trade. No one is selling, so the price action must be predicated upon fraud. You are wrong. You're objectively wrong, Morantz. That is not what is happening. No one is sitting in a room going, I need to stop these GME people. It's not happening. You are imagining a foe. God damn. I'm gonna go grab a book real quick, because there's a quote that's apropos for this. Dillis Filler says, are you saying it's always the NBs? It's true. Be right back. So, this is a quote. I've read it before on stream, but if you didn't hear me read it, it's a quote from a book written by the same guy that wrote Fascism. And it reminds me, well, it's basically about how conspiracy theorists think, so let me find it real quick. So this is from Foucault's Pendulum by Umberto Eco. Now I've come to believe that the whole world is an enigma, a harmless enigma that's made terrible by our own mad attempt to interpret it as though it had an underlying truth. A lot of the GameStop people, and conspiracy theories in general, are predicated upon the fact that people are anxious and afraid, and when things aren't going their way, it's easier to blame some third party, some enemy, than it is to actually maybe recognize that you've done some things wrong, or that you've misunderstood the world. It becomes easier to project a conspiracy into the world. And that's how you end up with... Where did I put that? That just got sent to me. There it is. And that's how you end up with people who believe stuff like this. That the whole world is basically a big conspiracy by one group of people to deceive you, when in reality, it's billions of individuals and groups of people working towards their own best interests, and it's really confusing. It's not satisfying, but the truth often isn't. Spouse with 1433 tip says, have you swapped to the new computer? It is right there. I was doing it today, and then I slammed my finger in the door, and it went really badly. I will have it operating by tomorrow. I promise. I suck so bad. Thank you so much. But I hadn't had the time. I was planning on doing it today. Oh, we're halfway to the costume month goal. Hell yeah. Penakagami says, moreover, the existence of short sellers and naked short sellers doesn't prove they're right anyway. The existence of shoplifters who steal from GameStop and hurt the profits a bit doesn't mean that shoplifters are the reason the store goes under. Bad things happen all the time, and adaptive beings, including companies, survive most of them. A lot of the time, the reason things die is 100%, 1,000 cuts and time. I've talked about this before too, but they get it backwards. Morantz and people like them tend to go, this company is doing badly because there's so many short sellers, which short selling isn't illegal, by the way. Naked short selling is, but there isn't evidence that that's happening with GameStop or Bed Bath & Beyond. Past tense for Bed Bath. It's like they see a vulture eating a corpse and assume that the vulture killed the guy. Short sellers aren't there to destroy the company. They're there because they don't think the company is going to go up in price over a certain period of time. They think it'll go down and they can make money off of it. Anyway. So that's a good book. Cults, Conspiracies, and Secret Societies, The Straight Scoop. And also, side note, this is also downstairs and I'm putting it in my collection of, like, sociology and conspiracy books. Satanic Panic, Pop Cultural Paranoia in the 1980s. Both good. I need to rearrange this. I'm covering my goddamn Hannah sign. Maybe I'll remove my Puppet Master collection so there's more room for the books. Oh.
Accumulating more of your phantom shares. They're accumulating more of your synthetic shares, your counterfeit shares. The one company that's DRS'd over 25% of the free float, over 76 million, over 75 million shares are registered with DRS. Hey, just a show of hands, got 10,000 people that watch this show. How many people do you think are...
The idea of counterfeit shares, which isn't a thing, is part of their naked short selling. They think that short sellers are claiming to have shares that they don't to lend to people to short, which would be illegal, but they don't have evidence of that.
100% DRS? I'm going to say not many. So how many shares do you really think we own? How many shares do you think people have? Listen, my shares are not DRS. I have 50 shares DRS. Do you want me to have that aren't? Not enough.
Why didn't you DRS them then if you think that that's important? Counterintuitive. Don't get that. PP. My favorite.
NVIDIA has the highest valuation in the S&P 500 right now.
Oh, do they?
Like,
Grayscale's
yeah,
Grayscale's not even surpassing Nvidia's. Surely Grayscale was higher.
No, they're or one of the Grayscale funds or the Grayscale the company.
Like almost. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it was almost 2,000 a share.
I mean,
oh, he's talking about market cap.
Yeah, does PP not understand the difference between price and market cap for a company? Because the prices of different companies aren't necessarily equivalent because it's divided amongst the number of shares. Oh no, he's running a stock show and he doesn't understand how the price works. Oh no! Holy shit, Bag of Weenies with 5,000 bits. Thank you so much for your generosity. Says, hiya, Hannah. Here's a boost for making me laugh so much over the years. I feel like the Occupy Wall Street caused a divergence of millennials in two opposite directions. Right-leaning millennials inspired by the Occupy wound end up being meme stock PP show QAnon fanatics. Left-leaning millennials who wanted real systemic change saw Occupy and joined Bernie campaigns, like myself. I feel the divergence explains so much of our politics. Love what you do. Much respect. That same, I don't know if you've seen Dan Olson's, see, I told you, I was talking about Dan Olson earlier. Dan Olson's The Problem with NFTs initial section talks about that, and it's sort of a through line throughout it, is how a lot of people saw the 2008 crash and Occupy Wall Street and turned left, like a lot of us here did, whereas some people felt that there wasn't enough opportunity to fuck people over, basically. They wanted the bar to be the boot to be lower. I don't know. I would recommend that. Check out Dan Olson's channel.
Well, Nvidia's market cap is probably
NVIDIA's PE
substantial.
ratio.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, their market cap.
All right. So it says, Marantz, you mentioned profit at what expense? GameStop
Oh, good. Someone else brought it up. I'm curious what he'll say to this.
made $6 million profit in a year off of billions in revenue.
Yes, that's terrible. That's terrible.
I make a higher percentage of profit off my savings account. Tiny profit. You are an idiot. You're an idiot. And I don't mean to say it that way. God, man. They made $6 billion. They saved me $6 million off $1 billion of sales. What the hell do you think they're doing?
Not being a good thing to invest in? Yeah, that wasn't a good comeback.
You're judging
Doing my best.
them off of a year that they're repairing a broken system.
This is a building year. As someone who lives in Michigan, around Detroit Lions fans, let me tell you, when people say, this is a building year, what they mean is, we're fucked, and I just want to feel better about rooting for a terrible team. Sorry, Lions fans.
They had to go put it together. The fact that they made $6 million after all the expenses they have to fix, all the shutdowns, all the selling
Morants, they got to that $6 million by cutting benefits and hours.
of properties in Europe, everything they have to cut out, all the fat they have to cut each year to show a profit. You're not gonna give them any credit for that? Okay.
They get credit, but like, and I feel like people might get the impression that like, because of this stream that I'm like, fuck GameStop. I don't care. I am literally agnostic to GameStop. I do not care outside of I don't want people who work there to get fucked over. That is my concern, is the workers, right? As you might imagine, given my political beliefs. So I don't care, but I do recognize that under the system we have, they are not functioning well. They are not what investors are generally looking for, no.
Okay,
You're a Lions fan. I can't hurt you more than the team has. Probably true. Probably true. Steve of the Q says, Nvidia has done so well by taking advantage of the gold rush shovel seller strategy. Their chips are essential hardware for crypto miners and AI trainers. Oh, I know. I fucking know. Did the halvening happen yet? How's that going?
Let's judge them next year when they don't have those same set headways. You know, they don't have these hurdles they have to get past. What's the profit now? Oh, hold on, Marantz. They made $6 million. And my little business, we do tons more than that. I make a higher percentage of profit off my savings account. Oh, okay. You make a higher percentage. So let's go ahead and see what GameStop's going to make this year. What? 10, 20 times more profit than that number?
Why does he think that? Why does he think that? Justify that belief.
10 or 20 is 1,000 and 2,000.
Big number, go Burr.
I'm 10 and 20. Yeah, 1,000 times more.
1,000? Wow, a billion, a 10 trillion, a billion. Just make up numbers. If you're just gonna say shit, just say it's an ultra trillion billion cotillion.
Percentage-wise. I'm not good at math.
Me either.
Here we go. How making yourself smaller justify price of share going up, and how price should go up in earnings when in 2016 GameStop was making 100 times more and the price was only $4 to $6 a share. Did you understand what I said, Damien, Lee Chung, what assets versus liabilities means in shareholder equity? The shareholder equity was in the negative. They can make a profit all they want. The company has no profit. The company has no value. You can make a profit all you want, but at what expense? What does it actually cost you to have that many liabilities?
He's contradicting himself constantly. When it's a different company, the rule set is completely different for how he analyzes GameStop. It's so blatant. It's so blatant.
Because you guys made this video go viral,
You guys are actually blacklisted from the store.
the CEO of GameStop wanted to meet with me. But would he really unban me from every store? I had to find out. So I flew to Texas 2 days later and met at an address his team sent me.
We're here. This could be a whole setup for all we know. You don't really know what the vibe is going to be here. We're just going to walk in, kind of keep the camera low key and see how this goes.
Just a guy fucking
Good
around.
morning.
How are y'all?
Good, how are you?
Good, y'all come on in.
They had a whole team there, the social media people, and we walked in and then Ryan just came out of the back door.
Nice to meet you, man.
How are ya?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
Ryan was super cool. Great sense of humor.
This is a GameStop
Oh no, this is real. Holy shit, what the fuck?
exclusive.
First thing he does is come out and give me this game. It's Call of Booty, and it's got a picture of his face on it.
Is this a picture of you?
Ryan actually gave me a $500 gift card because in one of our videos we gave a kid a $500 shopping spree.
So we have a $500 gift
Are
card.
you serious?
Yeah.
Do you care if I give this to someone else?
Anyone you want.
And then they told us the biggest news yet. This just came out of absolutely nowhere.
What's your feedback regarding our trade-in values?
The reason Ryan brought this
They're bad.
up is because in the last
That's been a meme for decades.
video I made a game of him that was making fun of how little money GameStop offers for trade-in values.
I just use that for the game because that's like the number one thing that everyone always complains about when it comes to GameStop.
On all software, we're increasing our trade-in values by 50%.
Go cash in. I know you have some old games you don't play. But there was still one big question.
I actually mostly digitally download games. You guys see how much I care about physical media, and even I download games.
That hadn't been answered yet. Were we officially unbanned from GameStop? The reason all this started in the first place.
Are we officially unbanned?
Are we officially unbanned?
You were never banned. You were never banned.
Would've been funny if he said yes.
It took me 2 fucking years to realize, holy fuck, I probably shouldn't stay dumb. And I should probably figure it the fuck out because people like Astro are causing me to catch fucking bags every fucking week. And I'm so fucking over it. I'm so tired of
When Morant's debate, what would we even discuss? All it's gonna be, I'll come off as a smug asshole because compared to Morant's I am, because I'm right. Like, what would the point be? Is what I want to know. What do you think Morant's would say that wouldn't just turn this into like bullshit? Oh no, that's a different person. That's not actually Morant's. Okay, good.
losing. I got so tired of losing because of shitty fucking traders on YouTube and Twitter. And I followed them, just praying that they were right. And they're just shit at what they do. And they don't give a fuck about you. The only thing they want is your fucking money. Subscribe to my thing for $79.99 a month. And then on top of that, subscribe to my other indicator for $200 a month. And then when you're done doing that, also subscribe to my YouTube thing for an additional $50 a month. That's all this fucking community has been for 3 fucking years. I'm sorry if I'm coming in to disrupt the space, but I'm coming in fucking hot and heavy, baby, because I'm done. I'm done listening to fucking dipshits like fucking Astro say, oh, you could have had a MOAS if you just sold covered calls. Oh, so that's what you guys were doing.
Yeah, this guy's intense. I've not really watched him before. He just gets very mad. Like, this is his channel. Hold on. He's got a whole ass channel. This is from a day ago. Why not?
There once was a stock that put to sea. The name of the stock was GME. The price blew up and the shorts dipped down. Hold my bully boys, hold. Soon may the Tempe man come to send a rocket into the sun. One day is done, we'll take our games and go.
Alrighty.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Turn the gain down. You're so coming in hot.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? So, we've got a GameStop video.
People are still talking about GME. They're obsessed.
Wanted to start off with this. I saw that my little thing got posted in Superstar.
There's still people into Bed Bath & Beyond. And that stock was canceled like 9 months ago.
My favorite place in the world. And then I saw this really low effort comment here at the bottom that said, well, not the best GME analysis. He said the wrong word, and that's fine. Video I've seen. Kudo for the effort, but please stop making videos. So just wanted to dedicate this video to Omega XL-NL. Shout out to you, my boy. Let's go. So they want proper technical analysis. Well, that's what we've been doing, and that's how you can tell that motherfuckers don't watch Jackie, right? That's how we know that they don't pay
Oh, this guy's not doing good.
any attention, and they follow people like Astro, Marantz Rants, right? Because you want some real fucking technical analysis. That's what we've been doing. I was the only one that called bottom. Where were you?
Hey, I know Doug Walker was very popular for some period of time, but I don't know who needs to hear this. Yelling in and of itself is not a joke. Just being loud in and of itself isn't a joke. It's a tool in your toolbox for being funny. But if you just say what you were already gonna say loud, it's not a joke in and of itself. So stop. So stop. Also set up your mic so it doesn't peak like that. Holy shit.
But it's fine, right? I said I wasn't going to scream in this video too much. We're not going to do that. So real technical analysis, right?
These people really suck at handling criticism. I think some of that is correlated with, and you see this again with other conspiracy theorists too, I think some of it's correlated with their overconfidence. Conspiracy theorists tend to be overconfident and have a strong ego in the sense that they don't want to admit that they are wrong or that they aren't in control of situations, broadly speaking. This is a generalization, so take it as that. But, like, there is a high correlation with overconfidence and conspiracy theorists, and I think that's what's at play here, is they cannot admit they were wrong, so they double down and they get mad. The criticism hurts them again because of their egos, and it kind of pokes a hole in their worldview, which is never fun. James Hall, thanks for a $5 super chat. Much appreciated.
Real technical analysis. So, one of the things that I made a point to you guys early in this month, right, was the fact that there was this this monthly 200 period moving average in yellow. The monthly 200 period moving average in yellow, since its inception, had never been tested. On the sneeze month, you blew right through it. You never tested it.
The sneeze is what they call the 2021 GameStop event. I don't want to call it a squeeze, because squeeze implies it was primarily price movement based on an actual short squeeze, and there was a little bit of that, but getting it up to 400 took a pump and dump. A decentralized pump and dump. I don't think anyone's necessarily culpable directly, or at least not an individual. A lot of people dispersed were responsible for that, but it wasn't a squeeze. It was a short squeeze combined with insane buying in because of memes and other things.
So this has never been tested. And then you can't...
Their desire to be in control is what leads them to conspiratorial thinking, isn't it? I mean, that's going to be different for different people. When I think about conspiracy theories, I sort of taxonomically have been thinking about how to categorize them. And I think you can put it into different camps. Sometimes it's for psychological utility. Like if something about the world and their worldview and it being confronted with a reality they don't like, if that is devastating enough, I think it's easier for people to go into conspiracy theories and shift the worldview that they have rather than accept difficult realities. There are some conspiratorial beliefs that are sociologically or socially beneficial, like shibboleths, for instance. If you live in a small community somewhere and everyone around you believes election conspiracy theories, maybe you fall into them not necessarily because things are convincing or not, but because everyone around you believes them. It has social utility in, like, bonding and having some sort of shared worldview with the people around you. So those are two categories amongst others, and I'm not saying that it's all one or the other or the third thing, which I would say is more just genuine, maybe mental illness and paranoia that stems from other things. I would say it's kind of like a triangle. You know when you have those triangles and there's like things and then there's a dot in the triangle that you put it towards? I'd probably put like social utility, psychological utility, and paranoia at the top. And different people would be in different places for different beliefs. I don't know, though.
Came all the way from up here and came down to the monthly 200 period moving average. And the first test of that 200 period moving average is almost free money. Because the first test...
But yes, to get to the earlier point, sorry, I went on a diatribe there a little bit. Yes, a lot of people have psychological concerns about not having agency or feeling like they're not in control, so they adopt conspiratorial worldviews in order to feel like they have a sense of control, even if it is illusory.
Of a monthly 200 period moving average, you're probably not just going to break through it. And so that's what we figured out, right? We decided that, hey...
Like evolution denial in the Deep South in terms of social parts of it. Social parts of it are definitely in that, but I would say that there's also worldview considerations, that psychological consideration that if you are an evangelical Christian that doesn't believe in evolution, for whatever reason, there are plenty of Christians that aren't creationists, or at least not young earth creationists, that do accept evolution, but for those that don't, they consider creationism, young earth creationism, to be a central block, a cornerstone of their entire worldview, and instead of changing that and adapting, it becomes easier to just deny reality and create a conspiracy that it's a bunch of scientists trying to trick you into not believing in God, even though, of course, that's nonsense. Plenty of people understand evolution and are still religious, but they view it that way. It would be a fundamental change to their worldview, and they don't want to do that.
Maybe Price was...
Or are incapable. I'm not saying they're doing this consciously.
Bounce on the monthly 200 period moving average, and we would see a large move. And then we combine that with more technical analysis. Can you imagine?
Where's Gina fall in this triangle? Heavily in the paranoid. Gina's really nice and seems like a kind person, and I think she's paranoid and has something going on. She's one of the only people that I watch that's that far probably paranoid and has some mental stuff going on, and it's specifically because, unlike a lot of other conspiracy theorists, she hasn't devolved into hate and like being mad at everyone. She just has a really, really big sense of curiosity, and that's interesting. She's much more functional than most people that, like, high in the paranoid version of the, like, I want to say quadrant. It's not, though, because there's 3 in the paranoid part of the graphic I'm imagining.
Can you imagine that we combine more technical...
To be clear, I'm not saying in any way that this is, like, an actual model that should be applied. All models are wrong, some are just useful. For me, it's useful.
Analysis to come up with...
In understanding motivation and how to deal with it for conspiracy beliefs.
This, right? Just imagine this, right? Just imagine. Right? Just imagine that we came out here, right? And in gold, right? In this giant fucking gold triangular looking diamond thingy, right? This right here, this is called a harmonic pattern. And we drew this when Price was here. And we waited for Price to come down here. And then it completed the harmonic, and at the same time, it hit the purple trend line. What's the purple trend line, you ask, right? What is that? That purple trend line is the Fibonacci Forks 886, in which every single time you have tested that purple trend line since the inception of this Fib fork, you have made huge moves. This one good for 70%. This one good for 50%. This one good for 100. I've done this 100 times because this is the analysis that I've done. For fucking like 6 months now, we've been waiting for this shit. Right? And that's why I get a really good laugh out of folks, like whatever his fucking stupid name was, suggesting that it wasn't good analysis, right? It's because people don't pay attention and they don't watch and they don't listen. And I'm here to show you the technical analysis does in fact work on manipulated stocks, bro. Right? So we had the monthly 200 period moving average. Then we had that harmonic completion in which we figured that that could potentially mark a bottom. Not only did we think that this could potentially mark a bottom, but we knew, or worse...
I refuse to get marked.
No more sadness. No more being afraid. No more acting like a bunch of scared little fucking bitches. It's time. You have waited years for this moment. You have waited months for this opportunity. You have put in all the hard work, all the time, all the sweat equity. You've done that. And now you, fellow
Did you know that shit posting is labor? I guess that's mostly my job, so fair enough. One sec, I'm adding him to my folder of meme stock people. Where is that folder? I have a folder that says assholes that aren't chuds. Oh yeah, I save the GameStop people under crypto nonsense, because when I started this, I got into it through the crypto bullshit they were doing.
This is not financial advice, not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only, and anything I say.
It's amazing how much his in-depth stock analysis sounds like emotional manipulation. Yeah, I don't know about that guy.
My opinion.
He's got some big feelings.
Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. That being said, hit the like button, subscribe button, all that YouTube algorithm stuff, so you get the videos I put them out. See what I'm thinking, see I'm analyzing that
Artist labor, his artist shit posts. Shit posts could be art.
data. But like I tell every day, the data they release us is false. I'm going to give us a false narrative of the market so we can make bad trading decisions. Listen, you guys know by now that the everyday flow of GME means absolutely nothing to me, okay? Whether it goes up a little, whether it goes down a little, means absolutely nothing. And you know why? The bad actors have full control of the stock. The only reason, in my opinion...
If I thought that evil villains had control of a stock that I was invested in, I'd probably stop buying it.
It is not trading at $3 like AMC is because of who the CEO is. If the CEO, who in my opinion was as complicit as Adam Aaron, GME would be trading at $3. Just my opinion. But until the bad actors run out of liquidity...
What's the best way, most preferred way to donate to Hannah? Bits, Super Chats, Patreon? My personal favorite is either through this tip link, because it's instant, or through Patreon. But anything is welcome. Whatevs.
Or regulatory
Is the bot not
or
working
law
on YouTube right now?
enforcement agencies step in and enforce the rules of the market. This fraud and corruption will continue. Anyway, here are the numbers. 4,856,948 shares. You know that volume means absolutely nothing, because we have no idea what's going on in the dog pools. We have no idea what's going on the other platforms where they're trading these shares in order to manipulate the price. They're still claiming 49.04% of the volume is DRS. I don't see how that's mathematically possible. It has to be a whole lot higher.
So, a lot of them were told to DRS their shares because they think it'll keep evil, secret, naked short sellers from getting them. Of course, the DRS numbers are either sideways or going down over time just because fewer and fewer people are involved in this conspiracy theory. So they take that as a conspiracy. It's not that the movement has died down. It must be... whatever.
Hi, guys, and I want to talk to you really quick, and it's not about Tito, Taco, whatever you want to call him.
Oh, cute baby.
This is the dude I found in the parking lot, and I brought him home. I don't care. He's a cool-ass dog. He just hangs out with me. He's my dude.
The greatest Marantz video I've ever seen already. Artemis8192, thanks for 39 months.
All right, back to what we were talking about. GameStop insider selling, and everyone's, like, talking about it, and they're like, Marantz. I'm like, you guys don't get it. You guys just don't understand, and I'll try to tell you. The insiders currently hold 39 million shares of GameStop. The net loss for insider sell-off, okay, just so that we're clear, is 2,000. They own 39 million. They sold 2,000 shares net. And because Larry Chang bought in, because Ryan has bought in the past, and so has Alan Adel, but the fact that the insiders and the board of directors buy more shares, or they're buying up whatever their counterparties are selling, if you want to sell at $10, at $11, $12, if you're Mark Robinson, if you're Daniel Moore, sell all the shares you guys want. Because what we're seeing right now is Larry, Alan, and Ryan are willing to buy them. They're willing to buy up all the shares you're selling. And they're set up that way. So the percentage of ownership for insiders has not changed. It's still status quo. So I like what Ryan and what Larry and what Alan do, right, with the company itself. But their money's still in it, so they're not selling off on it. Everything else, guys, I'm paying attention. Obviously, the stock price moved a little bit this week to go from $9.95 all the way up to $12 and some change, and then it cut out at around 11 and a half. I'm okay. And, you know, these are like the best buys of my lifetime. Anything below $25, I'm happy that I'm buying shares. So I'll be ready to buy it on Monday and keep watching and see what the markets do. And when the earnings come out, you guys know that this Sunday is the final day of quarter one. So if you're going to shop at GameStop, this weekend would be it. Today, tomorrow, and the next day. And I know that a lot of people have. I've shopped there a lot this month, this whole quarter actually. So that's pretty awesome. But shout out to everyone out there supporting the company. I support it, and I'll keep doing what I do. Get at me. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop. GameStop.
Jesus Christ. I want to know if Marantz and Chili hung out, what the vibe there would be. I feel like it would not be good. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. So while I do that, Chair is going to tell you about, the great land of Small. Be right back. Caradona says, so Chair, which is better, blackjack or meme stocks? Chair says, I'm a Baccarat fan. That or dog fights. Chair is a terrible person, because they're a chair, and not a person. Peeplord says, oh boy, that escalated quickly. I don't know how JP turned that into a diatribe about Palestine and Israel. I don't want to get into it, but their optics are, oh boy. What happened? What? Is there a video I missed? Chair should go to jail. They are. They're in butt jail. I just sit on them all day.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the infinite money glitch, but I'll explain it the best way I can. It's pretty tough, but here's what's going on. So private equity, right? Firms, accredited investors, pension plans, you name it, they all put their money into one pot with the promise of getting back X amount of dollars. So there's this whole rule. It's called 2 and 20. So 2% management fee for all the money that they put in, and then of course 20% of profits. So I'll give you the example. Blackstone, they just sold off $1.1 billion worth of equity to Ares Capital, another private equity firm. But remember, they're all here to help each other out. Every bankrupt company you've ever seen gets bought out by another private equity.
As we all know, private equity firms are all in cahoots, and none of them compete with each other and have differing takes on companies.
Firm, because they're just leveraging.
It's like, he recognized, like, it's one thing to discuss the perverse and bad incentive sets and actual collusion, but he just gestures and is like, they're all working together! No, problems aren't usually just people being evil. Normally it's callous disregard at worst, or, I don't know, people following bad incentive sets. Don't get me wrong, there are sociopaths and psychopaths. A lot of them are in finance. But they don't think about it like that. So your conspiracy theory is not great.
Leveraging the position when they do go public. Now, it's all for fees, all for management fees, all for that 2 and 20 that I talked about. So if I put in money into a fund, right, there's an LP, all of us, there's a whole bunch of LPs, and there's one general partner. He's in charge of the whole fund. But if I put in money with the promise of getting back X amount of dollars in, let's just say, 5 to 10 years, this dry powder is sitting there. And you're trying to show your investors, you know what? I'm going to make a return on
He
that.
obviously hasn't read When Genius Fails, when LTCM couldn't get help because all the other hedge funds had knives out on them. Yeah, they compete all the time. Like, I don't understand how he thinks, like one hedge fund might have long positions on a company and another might be shorting it. Like, they're not... He's almost describing, like, a centrally planned economy, but specifically by hedge funds.
So if there's nothing to buy, there's nothing out there, I'm going to buy into another private equity firm. And they're going to sell it to me. So they're going to sell off 1.1 billion like they did. They buy off that much. And what that's going to do in return, over the next 5 years, 10 years, someone else, another private equity firm, is going to buy in again, but on the next position. So they're literally just going ring around the rosy. It's like musical chairs until it collapses.
Oh, a normal gamer gal with a $10 tip says, for the costume month? Thank you very much. Sorry I missed that earlier.
And guess what? It never collapses.
For those who maybe got here late, we are doing a costume month once we get to 1,000, because things are rough, and I have bills, and I am in the negative on my bank account. So it'll be 30 days of costumes as chosen by people on the Discord. So if you want to help out and get that goal, use the tip link. HannahReloaded.com/tip.
The more money you put into private equity, it's like a black hole. Only the rich get richer. So as you go in and you see how they're doing it, you find out that the 2 billionaires that made up private equity, 40 years ago, are now 30 billionaires because they keep passing this money around. If you think I'm crazy about it, you think I'm wrong about it, just keep watching the retail apocalypse. That means 154 companies over the last 5 years that have gone bankrupt in retail space. And
yes, Morantz, a lot of that has to do with COVID accelerating the already existent decline of certain brick-and-mortar category killers. That whole thing doesn't make sense in the current economy because so much is done online. I'm not saying no brick-and-mortar stores will exist. I'm not saying even many of the ones that currently exist won't be around with a smaller footprint. It is that the fundamental economics of these kind of stores don't make sense in this day and age. It's not a conspiracy. It's people taking advantage of companies in decline. Again, it's that metaphor of the vulture. He's looking at vultures picking at a corpse and assuming the vultures killed them. No, they are taking advantage of a company that is already in decline. That's not illegal. It just is what it is. The company isn't doing well.
they go bankrupt because they just jump from one like locust and they pass around this bankruptcy dollar. Now, they're making fees, they're making profits, and yet companies are going bankrupt. Regular citizens, like a lot of people out there, are losing their jobs, but we know the impact that private equity has on America, and it's never in the positive. I'm sorry.
I find it so weird because, to my knowledge, Morantz isn't like a leftist or anything, so I don't even understand what his fundamental criticism is. Like, I'm a leftist, so to me I'd go, well, I'm not necessarily against, like, markets. I'm not a big fan of capitalism, but I think markets are a tool, right? In a toolbox of ways to function in an economy. But, like, I'm not a big fan of how things exist currently. What does he even want, though? Because he's not, like, a communist or a socialist or, like, any sort of progressive, to my knowledge. What is his solution to private equity? I don't understand. Does he want to ban it? Does he want to ban hedge funds? I don't get it.
Are to don it upon people, it's always in the negative. But remember, they're passing it around, and they go from company to company like locusts. Just pay attention where the money goes, guys. And how do you stop them? How do you actually pin it against them? I don't know. The government's allowed this to happen for the last 50 years. Mike Milken really figured it out, and then it's indoctrinated.
Yeah, literally, Pulte literally said earlier in this stream, he was like, you know what I would think would help lower inflation rates? Lowering the interest rate of the Fed. And I wanted to throw myself off a cliff. Yeah, that's a good idea. The opposite of what you should do.
Right? Hey, the Ivy League guys, the guys who never lose. Okay? All the guys, this is what it's all about. You've been winning forever. You've been valedictorian, you go to college, you get into these frats, and the next thing you know, you're in finance. And all you and your bros know what it is. We're going to pass around this money. We're going to get these privileged positions in America, and we're going to make millions and millions of dollars. They never lose.
Again, he thinks that people sit in rooms together and plan out their whole future, and here's how we're going to do evil, my fellow frat bros. No, it's incentive sets spread over many individuals within a system, and that's the net result. People don't generally sit around and actually conspire to do things. It's not usually how people work. Not that it never happens, it just doesn't happen nearly as often as conspiracy theorists want you to think.
Good luck. Good luck trying to stop the swamp. Peace.
Jeesh. Yeah, Morantz is a Trump fan, I think, isn't he?
So in today's video, I'm going to share my latest thoughts on GameStop. It's been quite a while since I've done one of these videos called the...
Yeah, this kid promoted GameStop a lot, and then around the time Dan Olson put out his documentary on meme stocks, which name of which I'm forgetting. Give me a sec. This is financial advice. Around the time that came out, this guy disappeared, weirdly enough.
The GME Stock Thought series. And of course, I'm only going to share my personal
No, Line Goes Up was the NFT one.
opinion. You're more than welcome to disagree. Simply documenting my journey as a GameStop investor and just following along with the company and how it continues to evolve. So we just got the most recent earnings report, which was the full year 2023 report, and we saw that they were able to turn a net profit for the first time since 2017. Obviously, there's a lot more.
That doesn't bode well for your company if it's the first time you've made a profit in 7 years. Nemesaur, thank you so much for gifting 20 tier 1 subs. Hell yes, thank you, Nemesaur. Appreciate you.
More work to be done considering that revenue declined year over year. That wasn't the most ideal thing to see. However, I look at it as a situation where they're really trimming the excess and making sure the core business is profitable going forwards.
But the core business isn't profitable. The reason they got to even a 6 million poultry profit is through cutting that can only be done one time.
I feel like we're not going to see another net negative year, and that's my opinion. I could be wrong. We'll see what 2024 brings. However, seeing the moves that are being made, such as SG&A being cut lower, some executives being let go, which I understand that's not the best thing necessarily, but...
Noisy Korak says, I'll take credit for bringing him back. I did the G-Merica and player videos with clips from him. It's my fault he's returned. All right. Blame's on you.
The facts are that that's one less person to be paid if they're not being replaced. So it seems like things are just being consolidated consistently and just being extremely nimble and just extremely efficient in how they do things. And a little bit of how they've been able to do that more is better analytics and just data as a whole. Because previously with the old management team, they really didn't have things in place to keep track of individual stores in certain regions, what's doing better here, what's doing better online, what's doing better on the West Coast versus the East Coast, all those sorts of things. And don't get me wrong, I think there's a lot more for the company to do in terms of its improvement in the long term. but I think they continue to move in the right direction. And the reality of it is, it's taking longer than some individuals maybe expected in terms of how fast the turnaround would be of the company. But I think they're still moving in the right direction.
When you use air quotes with turnaround, it's definitely an attempt at a turnaround. They were losing money every quarter.
It's just taking more time.
At least every year.
Maybe initially anticipated. And with that being said, they do have to find a way to ultimately drive top line revenue growth and the bottom line to grow as well. I think year over year, going from 2023 to 2024, net income will improve even if revenue stays stagnant. But I do want to see them in the long term.
I don't understand why you think that the margins have improved that much. I don't know if we've seen evidence of that. Again, a lot of the cash they were able to save in Q4 was because of cutting measures, and that was Q4 when you're gonna expect to make your biggest profit as a retailer. So what are they gonna do in the first 3 quarters of 2024 when they don't have that? The revenue's decreased. Again, maybe the margins have increased a little, I don't know, but not enough. H-Baird, thanks for 40 months as I finally reached the big 4. Oh, congrats. Don't have a stream age midlife crisis on me. We don't need you riding a Corvette through the stream.
Over the next few years, whether it be an acquisition, getting into a new segment of business, or expanding more into technology, whatever the case. But I want to see them, now that they've trimmed the excess, really just scale upwards in terms of the top line and bottom line. And of course, execution matters.
I'm trying to think. The Switch 2 is probably coming out next year, maybe next holiday season, I think is the current rumor. That'll be somewhat of a boost to GameStop, probably, because they can sell the hardware, and I still see even my perspective of, like, younger kids go to GameStop is entirely based on my experience when I was a kid going to GameStop. But that was 20 years ago! So do younger kids still like GameStop, or is it like a thing they don't... I don't know. I don't know. Either way, the Switch might help a little, but I don't see anything else that's gonna give them a boost. They're gonna do refreshes on the Xbox and the PlayStation, which I don't know if you're waiting to get one for the refresh, I guess, maybe, but it's not gonna make that big of a difference. Their fundamental business model of flipping games as a pawn shop for video games just isn't there.
Matters. It'll come down to, do they do it or do they not? And I'm just
top heavy, a thing. I'm not even gonna read that. It was funny though.
Keep following with the company, documenting my journey, and so long as they continue to turn a profit, I'm good where they're at. And I understand it might take some more time, and it is what it is. Some people are gonna be okay with
Switch leaning top, or Switch meaning, or wait, what was I gonna? Basically, if you... No, never mind. Why am I even doing this? This is about meme stocks. We're not talking about... dynamics.
Alright, but, of course, again, just sharing my opinions.
Hasn't GameStop been pivoting to selling merch in addition to games? Yes, actually. I've been in GameStops. I go in every once in a while. It's been a while, but just to check it out. Because I feel like it's fair, since I covered this stuff every once in a while, to every once in a while go into my local ones and take a look around, you know. I don't want to be ignorant to the actual on-the-ground experience of shopping there when talking about it. Most of the store space is now merchandise, which I don't think is as in vogue as it was. Like, between 2012-ish, between like 2010 even, honestly, and like 17 maybe. When did Avengers Endgame come out? 2019? Let's use that as an end time, because that about works. The whole, like, nerdy, trendy thing, where you would, like, buy Funko Pops and, like, your personality would be on display because of all the shit you owned, of, like, fandoms you're in. That feels like a very millennial thing, and millennials, like myself, I'm on the younger end of millennials, have kind of gotten older, and even I, you know, I enjoy, like, my movies and TV shows, you know I do that, but I don't really buy merchandise. I buy movies, but I just don't have room in my life or house to buy a plastic figurine of a thing I like, you know what I mean? So I don't know how big Zoomers are, or even younger, Gen Alpha, on buying, like, plastic crap. I don't know. But I don't think that's a sustainable business model.
You're always welcome to disagree, and you should always do your own research.
Basically, a GameStop these days is like a loot crate threw up.
Do your own due diligence and decide what's best for you as an individual. And get back on the grind with these videos. Feels good to make this one. Be back. Don't really know why I ever stopped. Got a lot more into live streaming. But Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
If it makes you feel better, all the Funko Pops someday will be a new geological layer that'll be mined for fuel. Funko fuels. It's a fossil fuel joke. It's pretty good. Oh, what has Ape Father been doing? He's always been embarrassing. Is he even more embarrassing now? Is he still trying to get people to give him money to make a casino? Bumble Homestead says Funko Destruction Horizon.
So I did a live stream before. I'm going to be doing a lot more. And people were asking me, do I feel gold is going to...
Where is 1991 considered in the millennial age group? You would be, I think, in the millennial age group. You're a little... I was born in 94. And I was one of the last millennials. Skip Azoa, thanks for 100 bits.
Going to go down if Trump wins in November.
You can like Funko Pops. I'm not trying to shit on anyone. I'm sorry.
Becomes the 47th president.
I don't like them.
Of the United
To
States.
me, Funko Pops, and again, I'm not judging you personally for having them. I have some that I got when I was younger. To me, if I was going to get a collectible, I'd rather it, like, look nice and unique and like it's from the franchise it is. Funko Pops are all so standardized and just the same, like, banal, generic figure. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. 35% to level 1 in a hype train.
It's America now. I think it's going to keep going up. Because some people who are the Trump supporters,
That would be younger-ish millennial? I don't know.
they feel once Trump is back in office, he's going to take care of America. So all the problems like inflation is going to go away.
Trump's going to hit the stop inflation button that's under the Resolute desk. Biden doesn't know about it. Toreador, thanks for 47 months.
You know, and all these crazy catastrophes happening in the world, Iran,
Lego as personality? Fuck you!
Israel,
I will defend Lego to my dying breath.
all this stuff, Russia, you know, with obviously Ukraine and all this other stuff going on. You know, Trump's going to get it under control. Trump is a great leader, not just for American people, but for the whole world. I mean, he really could create world peace. But the thing is that
What are you talking about?
people
Is this bait? Am I falling for bait? This feels like bait.
then feel if all of that, you know, de-escalates, that then gold
Sorry about that.
also goes down, because the theory is that gold goes up when everything's messed up. You know, inflation, gold goes up, world stress, all these different things going on with all these countries and potential World War III and all this, gold, you know, shoots up to the sky. Nah.
MH Dark Beast, thanks for 47 months, says Funko Pops are just garbage. They'll end up one day next to the E.T. Atari cartridges. I have a few from Critical Role, but yeah, Lego minifigures are all the same also. See, I'm not as big into... The minifigs are okay, but I don't collect the minifigs. I collect, like... I like the process of building Lego. It's very, like, calming. Just following instructions. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. I'm like Forrest Gump when he was putting that rifle together. I'm most at ease when people are telling me what to do, and then I do that thing.
I know
that feels good. That's easy. Expectations are understood.
That's the theory. I just think that
I cannot be left to my own devices. It is a nightmare.
people realize that gold is a safe haven investment. It's just a great,
Is it?
long-term, you know, place to put your money. It's safe. And I just think for those reasons and those reasons only, gold is always going to be gold. And gold's always going to keep going up. And I predicted this a long time ago. Like, gold was like 1,400 an ounce. And I said, I feel gold's heading to over 4,000 an ounce. Yeah, a lot of people said I was a dope, I was a psychopath, but now they see the current price of gold. It's not too far away from 3,000 an ounce. Yeah, like Ape Father was right. Exactly.
Did I see the new space Lego sets? No.
But I'm not a financial planner. I don't give financial advice. I am an entertainer, but I'm the greatest entertainer. Like, gold is the greatest asset, I feel, in my opinion. Not financial advice, just my opinion. Entertainment. So my
It annoys me the most how he just posts every meal he eats every day, and it's like he gets fast food or restaurant food like 3 times a day. And I just think that's not, like, great. I don't think that's a great thing to do. That's a big waste of money. And probably also not great for you. But, like, literally every day he'll post every meal he has, and it's always from some restaurant or DoorDash, and he spends $300 every dinner, and it disgusts me. Because it's money that he grifted from his audience. Gross. 30 seconds left on the hype train. Ominous.
Kudu in my blood. No. Boys fuck. To make you ready.
When does he show up? It's a long ass intro.
Mike Wilmer. Going both ways, offense, defense, living life on the deep end. FF allegiance, beat the odds and got even. What you think that we just started, nigga? Boy, the sword just got sharpened.
It is GameStop, everyone, and I just want to say good morning and happy Thursday. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. No edits, no cuts, just going off the dome. Don't mind me. I'm drinking my protein smoothie. What do I got? I got a blender, blend up bananas. I got that Farm Life milk. I got the freaking chocolate protein powder, peanut butter powder, cinnamon.
Space Legos? Let's take a look. Ooh, I've really liked, again, I've been broke as shit, so I've not been buying things. But this is incredible. I've been loving the look of Legos, this series. They've been doing more, like, framed artwork. And that's beautiful. I really like that. Thank you for sharing that. Where'd he go?
And a little bit of ice, make that shit.
A reminder that when this stream is over, which is going to be in about half an hour, I'm going to be doing a patron-only live stream, and we're going to watch a bunch of random videos, maybe look at some of the weird books and movies I own. It'll be pretty casual. It's kind of like a stream after party, so if you want to be a part of that, join the Patreon, patreon.com/HannahReloaded.
Nice, throw a little bit of water in there. Got yourself a grade A shake. Now, I'm open for suggestions. I'm thinking about adding some cocoa powder.
And you also get access to the VODs of all the previous patron-only live streams.
Next time, but I also have like this vegetable powder that I use so I could get my vegetable intake in because I apparently don't eat enough veggies. I don't eat very many greens, but I will add spinach to my drink from time to time, Popeye style. I just didn't feel like doing it today.
Popeye did not mix it into a smoothie. Popeye just ripped it out of the can and ate it raw, like a man. That felt gross to say. Altered Undying says, I don't have money or the space, cries. There's a link. Oh yeah, I did see this D&D set too. Very cool. Honestly, if LEGO did a whole series of, like, D&D stuff, they'd probably absolutely kill it. If you could use them as actual minis in the games and stuff, and they could, you know, make sets that you could build dungeons and stuff out of. Be cheaper than Dwarven Forge.
But anywho, we're back. We're hanging out. We're doing our thing. We're game stopping.
Can of spinach is usually cooked. I didn't mean raw like raw. I meant raw like he's eating it without mixing it into a smoothie. That's my bad.
I bought shares this morning while I was at the gym.
I meant raw as in I was alluding to hitting it raw, not raw as in raw vegetables. I was making an allusion to sex without a cut.
So you know what it is. This is the day for today so far. As you can see, we started off at a dip and then jumped up off of the, what, $10.50? Let's call it the $10.50.
Popeye definitely raw dogged it. He was a sailor. He went from port to port.
Line. As a
he had spinachless
support area for the daily. For the 1 minute chart, what do I feel like the rest of the day is going to consist of? How is the rest of the play or the rest of the day going to play out as far as the daily price action? Now keep in mind, y'all, I'm an investor. I always feel like I have to disclaim that I am an investor because I don't day trade. It's just like, I don't really feel like doing it. I'd rather just let my money work for me over time because
it would help if you invested in a company that has a future.
I made money like that before, so cheers to that.
I like the Popeye live-action movie with Robin Williams. It's got a comforting thing to it. Feels like a theme park from the 90s. Does anyone else know what I'm talking about?
And investing in a fundamental play like GameStop just seems like...
GameStop is his fundamentals play? Oh boy.
The most fitting thing to do. Reminds me of Tesla, so I gotta keep the vibes going, or, you know, I don't know. Actually, now I know what I was thinking. I want to buy...
Saka with a $3 tip says, I'm so sorry, something struck me in the rear. I just wound up here?
Buy more shares of, freaking GameStop. I was about to say Tesla, but I'm actually about to buy more shares of GameStop. Just because, you know, the kid wants to have more, and it's better to buy the bottom. And I know people want to say, I was watching Marantz's video.
It's better to buy the bottom? Yes, it is better to buy low. Correct. That is one of the basics of stocks.
Yesterday, shout out Marantz, by the way. I was watching this video yesterday, and he was pretty much going over, like, you know, even if you buy at like $10.70, $10.50, $10, $11, you're still buying the bottom if you look at it at a bigger picture, you know, the perspective long-term wise. As an investor, not as a day trader, I don't do calls. I just buy shares, like pretty much at least one share a day for me keeps the doctor away, and I believe it to be true.
It's like $300 a month on GameStop shares. It's over $300 a month on GameStop shares.
Are they healthier than apples? Probably not. Only time will tell.
I'm sorry. What? You think that GameStop is potentially more fundamentally sound as a company than Apple? One of, if not the largest company in the world. What is the largest company in the world currently? I actually don't know. I guess it depends on what we're talking about. Market cap? Profit? Size? I don't know.
Those apples might...
It's up there.
catch up to me. You know what they call them?
Microsoft by market cap? Okay.
Bad apples. That was also a bad joke, but that's okay because I'm actually about to, you know.
Saka with another $3 says, I calls it easy, like I paddle my canoe, I'll paddle yours too.
Probably do a place a buy order in, y'all, because I'm feeling good about the stock. I feel good about my investment, and
Funny Kagami says, he's into Tesla too. Why do these types of people all fall for the same 5 stocks? It feels like you give financial advice based off these kinds. Basically, pick a stock these guys don't invest in. Real investment, if you are interested, I'm, like, not in an individual stock thing. That's not my job. Not doing it. There are things that you could do. There are funds that you could involve yourself in that'll probably do steady growth over time. It's boring, though. And they don't want boring, steady growth over time. They want to make $10 million tomorrow. So for them, it's gambling. I mean, in general, the stock market is gambling, but especially day trading or buying one stock and not diversifying is gambling.
There's that, you know? So let me go ahead and make a buy order because, you know me, that's how I do it. And of course, I had a hard time trying to place a buy order in this morning. It took
by the way, we're over halfway to the costume month goal. Thank you, everyone, for being so generous. In 2 days, we got over halfway. Fuck.
Like, literally 6 tries before I was able to, you know, place the buy order. And I was like, man, like, this shit is just not letting me do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? But now that we're able to do what we want to do, we could do whatever the hell we want to do. And whatever the hell I'm going to do is buy more GameStop. So let me go ahead and transfer some more funds into the account because that's how you buy shares, right? You transfer funds over to an account. And
we're just slowly watching him buy shares
in
real time.
Hope everyone's having a good morning today. Whoever's in here, there's like 5 watching. I remember I had...
Saka again with a $3 super chat says, Squish squash, sling that slang. I'm always right back at ya like my boomerang. People to 50-bit says, it's way dumber than that. He's saying buying a GME share a day is healthier than eating an apple a day. Oh, that is stupid. That's very stupid.
like 20 people
At least the apple helped me poop.
watching yesterday. I was like, whoa. I'm pretty sure someone probably posted the link of my stream on Marantz Rantz's Discord. That's my best guess, because I don't know how I brought in that much traffic, but if that was the case, like if I am right, shout out to whoever did that. I really appreciate the support so very much. All right. You already know. And then for the record, I did buy 10 shares this morning. So, yeah, there's that part. And you know what? I'm gonna keep on buying the bottom. What if this is the true bottom, you know? What if, like, this down here is, like, the true bottom, like the $10 mark? We did double bottom over here. I mean, not really. It didn't really bottom out at the 994 on my line, but if I raise it up a little, like, to right here at 1001 flat, that shit, like, triple bottomed, essentially. So, how do I feel? I feel good, y'all. I feel real good. And you know what else? I feel like buying a share, because that's how this is how we do. Show us some love. I totally butchered that, but that's all right though.
This is sad. As per usual. Let me save this guy too. Hold on.
Hi everyone, this is Dynamite_41, currently reporting live from work. Disregard my messy hair. I don't know how I get sales with this haircut, but I go off. That's just what it is. Anyways, I just wanted to let y'all know that I bought my shares of GameStop below the $11 mark. We closed off at $11.90 yesterday. Regardless of what happens in the future in the coming weeks, if the price action goes back down to 10, I'm buying. If the price action goes to 15, I'm buying. If the price action goes to 20, I'm still buying. I'm going to buy regardless of it, because I know we're still at the bottom technically, and I believe in the company that I invest in, but also buy product from. I plan on getting my CandyCon controllers today, so fuck with me, because
Again,
I'm going
with
to
the
go
controller thing.
ahead and
As
show
if
you
it matters.
all what it is later. And anyways, that's just that. I hope everyone's having a great Saturday so far and making shit happen. Make that fucking money just so you could buy your GameStop products, buy some GameStop stock, buy everything you can. And I just want to let everyone know that the price action don't lie. It's been lying for a while because we've been on a downtrend, but now since we're turning things around...
The price, when it goes down, is a lie. When it goes up, it's the truth. He said it pretty succinctly, didn't he?
You know, the masses don't know about the GameStop turnaround story quite yet. But one day they'll know. And before you know it, we'll all be up on our investment and we'll all be singing hallelujah and probably still diamond handing at that point, even when we are up. But
any day now, the true believers will ascend to wealth and status and success.
Anyways, you'll have a fantastic Saturday. Make that money, make that...
They haven't made bad decisions. They're just a day away from being raptured. Lovely. Okay.
GME is currently up 11.5% at the time of recording this video. They report earnings coming tomorrow, and there's one
It went down after earnings. It was, what, $14.50 at the time, looks like? Now it's down to 11 something. It was down to 10 earlier in the week.
Thing most notably on investors' minds that could, quote-unquote, change GameStop forever. This could potentially lead to a massive rally in GameStop shares following their earnings that will be coming out tomorrow in after hours. We have all of this and much more. I will go over these short interest numbers and all of your news you need to know for GameStop today, why the stock is up over 11%, what the option activity looks like, short interest, and much more, including retail investor and hedge fund and institutional sentiment around the stock.
Got that radio voice. I remember that voice. I used to do that voice when you're on a stream and you wanna... I'm a radio person. Hello, everyone. I am talking on the internet, and it's only listenable if I'm incredibly obnoxious in the way that I speak.
stock. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. First up, I will note that there is no company-specific news.
Would I please keep doing that? Describing the rhetoric in different terms really reinforces the universality of the mind trap? What do you mean? What did I do? What did I do? What?
Today that is causing...
You're assuming I'm paying attention to anything I do. I basically black out for 3 hours during stream.
GME
performing here. I don't have time to think about what I just said.
Rally almost 12%. This is just your typical pre-earnings run-up. Now, with GameStop, they can be larger than other companies, but you do see this with other companies as well. I will point this out first things first. This is the most notable thing that investors want to understand. They want some clarity on GameStop's plan going.
Saka with another $3 says, you think you're smart with your fancy little words? This is not so hard.
Ahead. Take a look at this article. That
describing diamond-handed Moas in Rapture terms? Oh, okay, yeah.
Came out on March 21st, so just a couple of days ago. It says, GameStop's GME's new investment policy silly. This Wall Street expert thinks so. According to one Wall Street bear, this is a bear's perspective, keep that in mind, allowing Ryan Cohen to invest GameStop resources in other equities is silly. So GameStop is looking to become a holdings company, kind of like a Berkshire Hathaway, if you will, on a much smaller scale, to invest in.
It always makes sense and is a good sign when your business stops being a game pawn shop and starts trying to be a hedge fund.
In NVIDIA, invest in other companies out there, and this could, let's just read this, change GameStop forever. He says GameStop's new investment policy, which grants CEO Ryan Cohen the authority to invest in other equities, has drawn criticism from Wall Street, with some experts considering it a lack of confidence in the company's core business. Get on with yourselves, okay? Lack in the... yeah.
Get over yourself?
Of course. The brick and mortar game business is slowly dying.
Not even slowly. I think 80% of game sales are currently digital in the United States.
We can all understand that. 20 years from now...
You don't seem to.
GameStop in its form now is probably not going to be around. They're going to have to make a major pivot, and this could be one of the first pivots to really change GameStop forever. I think investors, if we get the right news and information on the earnings call, are going to have to start looking at GME in a different light. Maybe the company's not destined for bankruptcy. If they can start to generate some profits.
Saka says, they call me Saka. What this is in the water tribe, I am not an oaf. Is that a haiku? These haikus?
And they have been generating profits every, other quarter or so. It can be pretty sporadic when you're
What is it, 575? GameStop. A bad deal. Don't waste your money buying. Please go touch the grass.
Talking about GameStop or other meme stocks trying to get to profitability. But if they can take those profits and invest those profits into other companies and grow their assets over time in that way, I think you have to start looking at GameStop a little differently. Now, you can make the argument your name probably shouldn't be GameStop. You should probably do what Facebook did and change that to Meta. Just change the overall company if you're pivoting the business model by this degree. But we don't have a lot of clarity. We don't know what Ryan Cohen bought. We don't know the schedule for this. We
All
don't
the
know
Saka quotes are in haikus. I didn't realize until just then
how aggressive they're going to be in this. We don't know a lot in regards to the specifics of, Ryan Cohen able to invest in other companies. So that is a main focal point for investors coming on this upcoming earnings. Now, here's what the bears say. Analyst Michael Pashner has strongly criticized the move, calling it alarming and one of the most insane decisions he's seen. Well, insane, what do they say? Being called crazy in a crazy world kind of makes you sane. I would imagine. I mean, look at what other stocks are doing. Look at ARM. That's trading at almost 10 times the valuation of NVIDIA. Over that, like 30, 40 times the value.
Saka with another $3 says, that's right, I'm Saka. It's pronounced with an aka. Young ladies, I rocked ya. Thank you.
valuation of Nvidia.
Reading funny poetry and getting money. It's ideal. H-Baird says, a PSA for those poets whomst don't yet know it. The phrase, "this is a haiku," is 5 syllables. Take from it what you will. Steve with the Q says, just let GameStop die. Oh, wait. Please just let GameStop die so we can put it to Bed, Bath, and Beyond. Okay.
Stock's up like 4% today. That's insane, I would argue. It might be the right choice for GameStop. It says, despite the criticism, the new investment policy could potentially pivot GameStop's growth prospects towards a more sustainable future by transforming the video game retailer into a holding company with diverse revenue streams. Who knows? Again, that depends on
They're
what
just,
they actually...
Again, they're gesturing in what they would need. Diverse revenue streams without being specific about what they are. Yes, it would be good if your business sold things people wanted. That's ideal. What are you going to do about it? Pretty sure the earnings call did not come with forward guidance. I don't even know if they did a call, honestly, but their earnings did not come with any guidance, which you don't want in a company.
Actually buy. Now it says, in the most recent quarterly filing, GameStop disclosed that the company's board of directors had approved a new investment policy.
Okay. Enough of that. I'm gonna pee one more time before we end the stream. While I do, listen to AJ on the PP show. This is classic. His classic freak out after the stock, I think, was canceled.
AJ, what's going on?
How's it going,
There
guys?
was no earnings call. That's why the stock dumped so hard on earnings. That tracks. All right, enjoy his rant. I'll be right back.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Awesome. So, sorry, I'm not exactly camera ready right now. I don't want to turn it on and reveal my location. But
No
you know,
worries.
I wanted to join the chat because we got big news. And you know, whenever you have such a monumental transition in the circumstances, all of a sudden you start seeing people that have been hiding in the background all of a sudden come out of the shadows. You have to recognize not everyone's on your side. And they take advantage of our kindness. They take advantage of our welcoming attitude. I would love it if Roach can come back on the show and have a discussion like a real fucking man, instead of coming in after he thinks, oh, I'm going to fucking jump on this news here and try to spread more FUD than necessary. Guys, there's no need for an auction because the company is fucking sold. And we're about to find out. You have to understand, when you have mainstream media coming in and they're giving us airtime, guys. They're giving Bed Bath & Beyond airtime. They wouldn't dare do that unless they're in fucking trouble, okay?
Yep.
This thing's gonna fucking squeeze. The deal is done. The sale's fucking done. We had a whole fucking...
Before you go, take a break and get less too much. Augie August. Augie is pronounced more like August. It's a nickname I've had for 15 years based on my last name. Okay, Augie. Thank you for letting me know. Sorry about that. Let's see. H-Baird says, meme stocks are stupid. Save your money and keep it in your flesh pockets.
Year collecting evidence. Guys, this thing is clear as fuck. Okay, what did fucking Ryan Cohen do? He goes into his law office, he files a fucking trademark for Teddy, and then
Peep Lord says, this is a haiku. I'm bad at poetry. Wiener penis. Wiener penis. Missing a syllable on that last one.
he fucking tweets about Bed Bath & Beyond.
Wiener penises. Nope, that's one too many now. I'm not a poet.
Going to the moon. The same fucking afternoon.
Fucking
this thing is
goddamn
sold.
right.
No,
this
wait.
thing is sold.
Wiener penises.
When RC
no, that'd be right. Make
was
it plural.
putting things in action. You know, when he bought in March, he installed his members on the board. He was studying the situation, but he was studying the value of baby. He wouldn't have included us if he didn't already have the plan fully fleshed out. As soon as he fucking sells his shares, and he basically gives the signal, all of a sudden, $400 million loan comes out of 6th Street. Who the fuck could that be? I'm wagering my life savings that that's fucking our street. I want
That was a bad call.
Roach on the show and to discuss this like a fucking man. Fucking Roach and all the other fucking pucks out there need to come on the show and have a fucking debate like real men.
AJ,
Listen,
you're
guys.
Oh, hi, man. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm fucking excited. The only reason I bring up these fucks, not because they earned a second of my fucking mental time, but it's because they're spreading fuck that affects my fucking finance and my fucking family's finance. I know for a fact.
Yeah, they're still at this.
This company has been sold because I fucking read. Okay, I've been reading for a year. Man, it takes a certain kind of someone.
I've been reading since 1st grade.
fucking Roche, this disgusting motherfucker, to sit in the fucking darkness for the past 3 months. Where the fuck you been, Roche? Eh? Where the fuck you been when the stock was at 5 cents? I'm not gonna spend another minute talking about Roche wasting fucking time on people. Fucking one. You think the fucking judge that has been fighting for us is going to all of a sudden allow us to just liquidate for no fucking reason? We're gonna transition.
The judge wasn't fighting for you. He was just doing his job.
To chapter 7 tomorrow. It's fucking retarded. I don't.
Ew. I don't know if this guy's losing his house.
Want this. The reason I don't come on the show is because this isn't about me. Okay, this is about the fuckers that have been robbing us.
What's he do? This was one of the Bed Bath & Beyond investors after the company, you know, got basically liquidated. Not happy. And in denial. They still are. It's pretty sad.
You know why we're all fucking 90% down? Because they fucking took it from us. Okay? And I'm not fucking leaving until I take their fucking beds. And they're fucking on the streets. So listen, guys.
Dude.
Listen, think clearly. Do not use emotion. They take advantage. They take advantage of your emotion.
Remember, everyone, anger isn't an emotion as long as it's coming from a man.
They exploit your emotions. Okay? Trust your gut. The job is done. We're all gonna fucking make it. And people like Roach, where the fuck are you, man? I called you 10 minutes ago. Are you fucking listening to this like a fucking bitch? Come on the show and talk to me. Where the fuck is this guy? Where the fuck are you, man? Pissing your pants. Okay, yesterday Hannah came on the show. I don't want to fucking talk ill about anyone. Yes, it was the most idiotic display I've ever seen in my life.
Sure.
You guys gave her more time than she deserves. She just came on. She started fucking talking her mouth on fucking top.
Are you telling me that part of this anger is coming from me? Whoops.
She didn't fucking understand, unwilling to listen to you guys. The moment you saw her attitude.
Yeah, they're talking about me. This happened after this happened like a day after I went on their show.
Dude, the fact that she came on, she's like, you don't know what a going concern is. Go fuck yourself. Who the fuck are you? I've never even heard of you. You're fucking irrelevant. You fucking
I never claimed to be relevant. If your concern is to be relevant, prepare to be disappointed.
Motherfucker. It's not fucking dream on me, okay? Keep fucking dreaming, you fucking shills. Look, we're gonna make it, guys. We're gonna fucking make it, and we're gonna come out this stronger than everyone.
Mind, man. There's no doubt.
Just hold your fucking shares. Hold your fucking shares and make them fucking pay for every moment of fear we ever felt. Make them fucking squirm. Sorry, guys. I got pissed, man.
It's the only person who too far.
I got fucking pissed. This is a moment of celebration.
For a long fucking time.
I know. We've been in this a while. I would love it if Roach can come back on the show and have a discussion like a real fucking man. I'm just pissed that he had the gall to fucking come on the show and fucking deceive all the gas.
Remember that time Andrew Tate gendered you correctly? I don't. I've interacted with a lot of terrible people in my time. I don't remember that. This is my job, so no, I don't. I interacted with Andrew Tate. When did that happen? I believe it. I just don't remember.
Like all of you into thinking you're all losers. The only fucking loser here is Roach, who's been fucking watching this show.
Let's agree everyone on the internet is a loser. Can we all live with that? Fair.
Pathetic fucking idiot.
Fenekagami says, anger from a woman, weakness, crazy, emotional, meltdown, anger from a man, passion and strength.
Day after day, without saying a word, knowing everyone fucking... Listen, come on the show and let's have a discussion. Don't make me fucking scream at you. Come on the show. Let's have a fucking talk man to man.
Come on, man. Just come on and say
fucking coward.
Why you think it's going bankrupt.
He's a coward. It's a fucking bitch. Yeah, he said it was going to go to zero in May, and it's fucking 31 cents. So go.
He called me a cunt who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Oh, fun.
Fuck yourself. Sorry. I was just going to say it's emotional manipulation. They're just manipulating.
Between me and Andrew Tate, I'm glad that I'm not the one in a Romanian jail.
You psychologically, okay?
So don't call me a cunt on the internet, or you'll end up in Romanian jail, based off that one data point.
They have these people who make you think they're your peers. They make you think they're one of you. Hey, Roach, I identify with fucking Roach, only for them to come and try to fuck you out of your money.
Right.
Okay, this is it, guys. We should be celebrating right now. We should be fucking...
So I should go back on the PP show one time. I was told I was banned, but like, if I just used their link and went in, what are they gonna do, right? They need content. That would be funny.
Celebrating that the company is fucking moving forward with the sale. No, it's malicious. That's what it is.
Yeah.
These are paid fucking actors, okay? They learned that, we're not the only ones who learned from GameStop.
Hannah and Greta Thunberg teamed up to take down Tate. It was a good team up.
They've also learned how to fucking infiltrate a forum.
Fenakagami sing, "You're a loser, baby." YouTube.
Set up actors that gain our trust over several fucking months, only to come in at the moment it matters, at the very fucking vital fucking crux of it, and start spreading all this fucking toxicity. Go fuck yourselves, okay? I'm fucking taking your money. And we're all gonna fucking take their money. Where's Roach? Where the fuck is he?
Are you gonna take my money? I never shorted anything. Doesn't even make goddamn sense. You think I short sell?
Not showing.
I made of money.
No, man.
He's a fucking pussy. That's why.
He's right there in the chat. He's in the chat.
AJ, don't. Thank you so much for continuing your gift sub.
Love fired up.
Don't let him in your head,
Holy-
AJ.
No,
AJ.
ABC. Let him.
Yeah.
He's cooking, man. He's cooking.
PP's like, this is great content. Keep it going. Have mental breakdowns on my show, please.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna calm down. Actually, I'll get back on the show and a little more level-headed.
Oh wait, Roach is here.
Oh, is he? Fucking wonderful. Fucking gruesome nuts.
All right. Roach, extreme mental illness is what he says. All right, then get
Lovely.
in here, Roach.
I'll try to keep it civil. I want it to be as clear as possible to everyone. I'm gonna show everyone the fraud this fucker is. Let's discuss it in a civil way. I won't scare you, Roach.
Crickleset, thanks for gifting a sub. Aw.
Come on. I'm not a scary guy. I'm a nice guy. Come on the show. Let's talk like fucking civil men. I would love to know why he thinks this company is going liquidated. When he was, look, one of the reasons why I feel especially betrayed, honestly, by Roach, because I actually love the guy. You know, when he used to come on the show, and I used to think he was brilliant until I realized this guy's an idiot. What gives you? This is all for you to prepare, so you're not so afraid to come and face me face to face in real time. Take your time, take your notes, prepare your arguments. I want to hear all of it. He's a fucking pussy. He knows he's wrong.
Yeah, I had the benefit of knowing Roach was a imposter.
Oh boy. So that was great. Alright, I think we're done for the day. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Like I said, I'm going to jump on the patron-only live show, so if you want to join us a paid member of the Patreon at patreon.com/Hannah Reloaded, we're going to do an after show hangout. It's pretty casual, it's less structured than like the normal stream. We pretty much hang out, talk, watch random stuff. It'll be good. We've also been reading Cruel Logic, which is a Chud book. I don't know if we're doing that today, but they're on the VODs, so if you want to watch that too. So have a good night, everyone. Is anyone live that I want to do a raid on Twitch? Let's see. Boop boop doo doo boop boop ba doo boop 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 ba doo boop. Alright, have a good night, everyone. I'll see you at the patron-only live show, if you're a patron. If not, I will see you tomorrow. So have a great night. I'm actually, if you are going to the patron live show, it's probably going to be like 15-20 minutes before I actually start, because I'm hungry and I'm going to grab some food, but we will be starting shortly. So keep an eye out for the link, and I will ping everyone on the Discord when I start too. So have a great night, everyone. See you later. Good to see ya. Noisy Korax. Sorry, I called you Corvax. That's my bad. So that's it. Adios.